Okay, we are now back in open session for our work session, open meeting for our work session. And if you look at the notes that Terry provided for you. And then, let's look at it just page by page, and you guys can jump in if we come to a page that you've got a question or anything.
Let me, for our question, on this here, one sheet that Terry gave us, on this
That shows the cost of the,
okay.
that's what that's for.
I didn't know if we was,
We'll
put this in,
get to that.
Sherry, do we need to establish a quorum with a roll
Oh,
call?
yes, sorry.
Okay. Coulter,
here,
McAdams,
Here.
Perry,
Here.
Wallander.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so if we go through the new printout, the draft. Terry and I've gone over this several times, so go to page 14 unless you guys have a question before page 14.
Page 7.
Page 7? Page 7.
So the third paragraph down, on the last sentence, it says, any actual employment agreement must be in writing and signed by the mayor.
The only thing that we could think that would be if we had a contract with somebody, but we don't have any contracts now, and in the foreseeable future. But the mayor as the executive officer would be the one that would sign any employment contract. Such as the one like they had with the golf course superintendent.
So can we put that for contracted employment on there? Because that's
Well,
what
that's what an employee agreement would be, but we could change that to employment contract. Because where does it say at the at-will that there's no?
well, but, because it says on here, no employee, agent, or representative has any authority to enter into any agreement with you for employment.
Yeah, for any specific period of time, any actual employment agreement must be in writing and signed by the mayor, so there would not be any agreement
we'll see
unless,
on the page 4 of what we did here, I had crossed it off, like we were supposed to take that out.
just take it out completely,
Yes.
which I have no problem with that.
What page
On
are you
page
on?
7, third paragraph, last sentence. Because if there was ever a chance that we would have a contract for any employee, it'd have to be as approved by the council anyway, so.
So
So
take the
take
last
out
sentence
the,
out.
any actual employment in writing.
Okay.
Just take that out completely. Okay.
Okay, what about the one on down? The next to the last one? Because I'm going by what, was said back there with the city attorney.
Okay.
The mayor in conjunction with the administrator shall have the exclusive right. And we agreed back there, like, we would all be included, like, the alderman would be included with some of the decisions, like you would be included. Isn't that what we talked about back there
Yeah,
earlier?
In
the
any
mayor and the city
employment rules.
administrator,
But that was because we didn't have a city administrator.
So should we word it, the mayor in conjunction with the city mayor, city administrator and board of aldermen shall have the exclusive right to final decisions, that we should all be included on certain final decisions?
This is in regards to the meeting, so if it is questioned on the meeting.
Well, it's in employment rules, so that rule is established by the Board of Aldermen, so yes, I would say that,
Put in with Board of Aldermen approval.
with, or
With the, yeah, approval.
either take out the whole thing about the mayor in conjunction with the city administrator, or mayor slash board of aldermen in conjunction, I
Yeah.
don't.
Well, I think the mayor and the city administrator would be in the office and then we work it all out and bring it before the council and they would approve
That's
it.
what I was wondering.
Yeah.
So I would just put
It's just
the administrator with the approval of the city council.
Miscellaneous procedures for the employees.
Okay, the mayor in conjunction with the city administrator, and then approved
With the
by,
approval
well,
of
that
the
says
city.
shall have exclusive rights, so that would negate that.
Exclusive, right, but the thing is, okay.
But she said that we can put it with approval from the Board of Aldermen.
Then let's, let me read this and see if it makes sense. Additionally, when a question is raised regarding the meaning or application of any employment rule, policy, or procedure, whether contained in this manual or not, the Board of Aldermen shall have the exclusive right to make the final determination as to its meaning.
That sounds good too.
I mean, it would be the mayor and the board of, or the mayor and the city administrator would be the ones that would be bringing
Present
it
it.
to the Board of Aldermen for the final determination,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because you would implement it before the meeting and then you would bring it to us to make sure that.
Right, if the question, let's say, I don't know, some employee complains to the supervisor's gonna complain to the city administrator is gonna complain to the mayor, who will bring it to the Board of Aldermen.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay, so we're taking out, after this manual or not, then take out the next wording, the mayor in conjunction with the city administrator. And put in Board of Aldermen shall have.
Right.
So it's comma after not, then Board of Aldermen. And are you using the term men or man?
Men is what I have in here.
Men? Okay.
Board of Aldermen.
Okay. All right.
There's more than one of you.
7. Okay. Anybody else have anything before 14?
Yes.
8.
Okay,
On
what's
8.
on 8?
What do you got, Judy? I'll see.
In the old book on page 4, it, what did I do with it?
Yeah.
And the old rules, right?
Yeah, the old book on page 4, we discussed
Yeah,
this.
I need to do it because
Right here.
I was just figuring we were messing with it.
And the Department of Regulations was
This one is.
1.040. We have that in there, but the one before we discussed it, the 1.030 on page 4, it has not, I could not find it in here at all, so that should be above 23.012. The administrative responsibility, 1.030 on the old book on page 4.
And it's not in the new one.
No, it's
Point
not.
I didn't see it
1.040.
either.
The whole thing needs to be put in here, Judy?
Yes,
1.030.
030 or 040?
no, 040's in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, oh, we definitely need that, because that's why we're working on this classifications and everything.
Right,
Okay,
So the-
so it'll be at the top of page 8.
yes.
Top, page
That's
7
gonna-
has purpose, the purpose of these policies.
Yeah, that's
But it doesn't
purpose,
say
but
anything
then
about
if you
Board of
look at the
Aldermen.
old one, policy, chart, policy.
The purpose of the handbook is right before, is
Yeah.
1.020.
This has got policy provisions, 023, 011.
So that 1.
That's gonna mess your numbers up is what I'm,
Oh, I can renumber.
oh yeah, because the section 2316, it can just go down to 17 and it won't mess up the next, so.
Right,
So this,
Okay.
okay, so this one will be the 23.
1.040 23-0 will be the 23-0-12, and then the 13, 14, 15, 16 will go down to.
Right. This would be 13, that'd be 14, that'd be 15,
So
16,
page 4
17.
then. Okay.
Okay?
Okay, 9, 10, speak now or forever. Don't look at it again. 11,
11. Yeah.
11, okay.
The,
Move my mask.
I bet you're saying one more as I do.
the last one where it says the mayor will have full authority to determine what is best for the interest of the city. The mayor with city administrator, and then with approval of board if necessary, if you guys can agree.
Oh, this is the,
Nepotism.
This
if
is-
the conflict arises, in the
Yeah.
transfer will not.
If two
If a
people get-
situation occurs, okay,
With the two people getting married,
We're on 8. Well, we were on 8. I think we're on 9.
we're on 11 now.
We're on 11
Did you
now?
get the other one?
Yes, the purpose,
yes.
yes.
The administrative responsibility,
The mayor's
go at the top
adminis-
of page 8.
On top of page
Okay.
8, yeah.
Hey, will you repeat what you, Gail's going to repeat a sentence.
On 11, on the last little part of the sentence, it says, "The mayor will have full authority to determine what is best for the interest of the city." And it should be the mayor, city administrator, and then if we need to add, with approval of the board if necessary.
In other words, if they can't come in,
If it-
Okay.
With an agreement.
The mayor and
city
city
administrator.
administrator will have full authority to determine what is in the best interest for the city with approval
Of the board if necessary.
by Board of Aldermen if necessary. Let me repeat that. If a situation occurs, the mayor and city administrator will have full authority to determine what is best for the interest of the city with approval by Board of Aldermen. I'd say period, and not if necessary.
Well,
Okay.
it's only if you guys can't agree, we don't need to approve of it if you guys can't agree. You know, like, you guys have to be able to agree on it if there's not a resolution.
And shouldn't it say what is best for the interest of the city? What is best?
Yeah, but this has to deal with the anti-nepotism.
Right. and
So there's no give or take on that. State of Missouri says it's not gonna involve us.
This part of it is when, if two people
The
work for-
transfers to vacant
Yeah.
positions.
Well, I thought we already took care of that they could not work under the same supervisor.
Right,
Right,
but if they do, if two people in the same department get married, then one of them's gotta transfer out of there.
Right, because it'd be working under
Right.
the same supervisor.
And so that would be up to the mayor and administrator to which one's gonna.
Implement it too.
right, because like if they would both refuse to
Yeah,
transfer, then somebody's gotta make that decision.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat this then. If a situation occurs, the mayor and city administrator will have full authority to determine what is best for the interest of the city with approval by Board of Aldermen if necessary. Got it? Got it. Okay, 12. 13.
Not if,
13?
no,
No?
go on.
Okay, 14. That's the first on the list of the notes. And it's just a condensed version of what the police department had
I thought
provided.
we had talked about taking that out completely.
I had a note in the last one that you said to look at what Jamie had and ask Deidre about it. So this is a very condensed version of what Jamie had, which basically is city property, your property is your property, and we have the right to search the city property at any time, but your property with a warrant and probable cause.
Okay, can we remove, or other recognized exceptions, because that can open a lot of doors right there.
Remove what?
Or other recognized
no.
exceptions,
With voluntary consent or a warrant, period.
period, because when
Okay.
you do exceptions, that is opening a lot of doors and pathways.
So it would be with voluntary consent, no comma, or warrant, period.
I've got a problem with that. And I've seen it happen before. But you get a couple employees and they don't like this employee, they can say, hey, we seen that employee put this in their car, or we seen her put something in her purse. And then other people seeing the cops searching their car, or their purse, or their cell phone, and they just did it out of spite.
But they can't without
Yeah,
written consent somewhere
But
else.
that's
No,
up-
but if
well-
you get a warrant,
No, but probable cause states that, in other words, on the probable cause, they have to sign a statement. Okay, then therefore, that involves them. In other words, if those two employees want to go after another employee and say this, they have to go to the police department, if I'm not mistaken, and fill out a complaint, say this and this is what we saw, and they have to sign such. And at that point in time, if nothing has occurred there, or if found to be anything, they've opened themselves up to a lawsuit by the person that they've worked on. In other words, they've tried to do to. But see, they're showing no probable cause unless they, I mean, that'd be like somebody saying your neighbor's doing this or that. Well, okay, unless you fill out a complaint with the police department, too bad what your neighbor's doing.
That means that there's something not wrong, then they're held accountable for false information.
Right.
Falsification.
that person still went through that. I don't know, I just think when you start messing with somebody's personal phone, car, purse, wallet, or whatever, you're asking for a lawsuit for harassment.
Not if there was a valid warrant for the
Right.
reasoning.
That's what I'm getting at, is you have to go to the police department
Yeah,
and
it
fill out a
wouldn't be the
complaint to
city.
do such.
Acting on their own,
It'd be called hearsay evidence, if I'm not
It's
mistaken.
viable proof if you get a warrant.
What did you want to take out, Jennifer?
The
Final
exception,
sentence.
the recognized exception, because I feel like that kind of leads to what you're
somebody
talking
has
about.
to, yeah, then who's gonna recognize that exception? So
Right.
if we take it out, then,
Then it's just either voluntary or warrant.
yeah.
Either I give them permission or the cops are gonna have to
Give
slap
them-
me with the warrant in
And
order
there's
to do
gonna
it.
have to be.
And they better have a good reason why that
Yeah.
the warrant was
And
issued.
they're gonna-
They better have proof.
The judge issues the warrant anyway, they have to go in court, so.
See, that's on the next page too, under investigatory searches, an exception applies, unless an exception applies. I don't like that word exception.
Where's that at?
That's on page 15, under I can't say it, searches for city or personal.
So you want to take out the ordinarily and just put require a warrant. Take out exception applies.
More intrusive or personal searches ordinarily require a warrant.
Right. I just don't like, and see on the next one, absence on exception. That exception word just,
Take that out.
So if we, under investigatory searches, it ends at a warrant, scratch out unless an exception applies. Then on
Right.
personal property, it will start with searches require voluntary written consent or judicial warrant.
right. And then it's down here again, under personal property, under guiding principles. A warrant or valid legal exception such as an immediate threat.
An imminent threat.
So see, that's what I mean, exception can be several things. That's the only word I have a problem with.
Okay, with written consent, no comma or warrant, period. Scratch out or valid legal exception such as an imminent threat.
Well, I'm pretty sure if they're threatening, I'm sure the cops are gonna be there regardless. I just, that exception, does exception,
And again, this is from the police, so they're gonna have the more power to do
right.
that stuff, so. Okay.
All right, let's address the elephant in the room. The prohibition of tobacco and vaping. Me as an ex-smoker, I understand where the smokers are coming from. So if you put, they cannot use it on city property, that opens the door to a lot because you define city property. Is it the street? Is it this? My problem, and I don't think they should do it inside of a building or in a vehicle. I'm for that. But I do think it's only fair to make designated areas for these smokers.
So couldn't it be products inside city buildings or in city vehicles?
Right, but then also I think it would be fair that we make them designated smoking areas. Because like back here behind the building, they've got the cigarette thing, but
Well, except,
for designated areas. But they do need some designated areas.
I don't know, I'm with you, I think the vehicles and the buildings is fine. But if they wanna walk down the sidewalk and smoke a cigarette, they should be allowed to.
Right,
Even if they're,
okay,
I just don't,
Should take
I
out
don't.
city property.
let's see how this reads. Employees are prohibited from using tobacco or vape products inside city buildings or in city vehicles. Oh, except in designated areas really doesn't apply then to inside the buildings or in city vehicles, so.
but to make it easier, I do think it wouldn't hurt for them or for us to make designated. Like down there at the shop, there should be like a picnic table or something with a cigarette thing to put ashes out and stuff. So that way it would prevent trash.
Let's see if this reads. Employees are prohibited from using tobacco or vape products. I was gonna say, except in designated areas, and, that's
You
not
would
right.
Well,
I
put
would
it
say
on-
employees are prohibited from using tobacco or vape products in city buildings or in city vehicles, except for smoking areas.
Except for designated smoking areas.
Then they're gonna expect smoking areas inside your building.
Yeah, that's,
It should be like a separate sentence.
it needs to be a
Employees are
separate-
encouraged to smoke in outside smoking areas,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We'd have to designate that
yeah.
in each.
I think designated areas just get you into a whole mess.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is they shouldn't be outcasted because they smoke. If they can't smoke in the building, then they have got to go outside, you know, and
But, you know, if you did go outside down at the maintenance shop, they shouldn't have to walk over there underneath the tree in the shade and sit at a,
right.
well, if
picnic
this is
table
just
to smoke.
this is prohibition inside city buildings or in city vehicles, period, then really nothing has to be said
right.
about where they
Smoking
can
area.
smoke. This is where they can't smoke. That's what the policy
Yeah.
is.
Right, but the
The
city property is
prohibition.
just kind of through a,
Yeah.
My girl that smokes here goes out and sits in her car because it's cold in the winter and hot in the summer, so
Right.
she sits in her car and smokes.
So
We're all
employees
good
are
with that.
prohibited from using tobacco and vape products inside city buildings or in city vehicles.
Right.
Okay.
Good enough for me.
16. Nothing on 16. 17.
wait a minute. I'm on this tonight now. What does credit history have to do with your job? Because, I mean, not everybody's got a great credit score, and how would that make you a better worker? I mean,
What do you look at when you, if you're running a credit score, what do you look at for employment on a credit?
yeah,
We have no way of running those right now.
but it states right here, criminal record, motor vehicle record, which I understand if you have like a DWI or something.
Which,
It's right here under background investigation.
okay.
And credit history. But what does credit history have to do with you as an employee? Because you got a few hospital bills, they can't hire you?
I think that's an HR, no. You can't do that.
Yeah, they do that for your car insurance and jack your rates up, but that's why they do it
That's
there.
why it kind of caught my
Personal.
eye. I thought, what does my
Yeah.
credit score have to do with my
It's got
job?
two
That's
ands in it
private.
there too.
So that needs to be
You got
removed.
what?
Two mans.
Two ands, so
Okay, so-
period after record,
Yeah,
Criminal record check, motor vehicle
criminal record check and motor vehicle record, I guess. So you need an and.
Do you check their motor vehicle record?
if they have a CDL, I found a couple of motor vehicle checks, but I haven't been doing them. Of course, I'm brand new to this and have no clue what I'm doing. But
Well,
I'm learning.
MIRMA requires some kind of motor vehicle or driving record or something.
Because a lot of them do drive
Yes.
city vehicles.
Can we
Right.
not get that from the police
Yeah.
department?
I think that's how, no, doesn't go through the police.
Well, let me state
Well,
in
there's
Missouri, when you go
There's
to
a
get a,
process, I don't know what it is, but,
Department of
I'll have
Revenue.
to check on the one that I've had come through that got a CDL and make sure I did it right.
yeah. But there's some driving records in your office somewhere.
well, if their CDL is current, and it's current, then that means they're clean, their record's good as far as driving goes. I don't think there's anything there to check, because the state of Missouri, if you get too many tickets automatically,
You're gonna take your
well,
license.
they take your CDL, not your,
yeah.
not
Oh,
your
yeah,
driver's
you lose that,
license.
you lost it, you're
Right,
done.
and so the thing is, if they've got a current, if it's, good till 28, that means your CDL is good, you have
Right.
nothing to
Even
get.
the
We
other
need to check
driver's
the
record,
record,
that
though.
MIRMA, it has something to do with MIRMA requirements, is a driving record, because a whole bunch of people had to get them this year.
When they suspend your driver's license, they don't come physically get it. So you'll still have that card to show
Yeah.
your employer to show you've got a
Yeah, but I think if
license.
you just entered the number,
Yeah, when you run it, it
Yeah, I'm
shows
gonna have
it's
to run it.
suspended, right.
I haven't been
and I
doing
think you
that,
probably,
but
I don't
I'm
know
need
if
to
state
Okay, is there
control would do
anything else
such or
on
not.
page 16?
Well, I got
find
another.
out.
On this one down here under fit for duty, okay, it says that the final determination of an employee's fitness for duty, define that. Is there a meaning for that? Just because I'm 5'2" and weigh 350 pounds, are you gonna automatically assume I'm not fit for the job? Or is it because I'm 6 foot tall and I weigh 110?
We'd have
I
to
mean,
fire
well,
some.
Let's
I'm
put-
just wanting kind of a
Back up
meaning.
here where it says testing includes but is not limited to, let's put testing may include but not limited to, and just end that after exam. Because let's say that somebody, has a stroke or has a seizure or has a mental breakdown on the job, then they shall be subject to an exam, period, I mean, it'd have to be a medical, I don't think,
Right.
Or she's-
I don't think based on should be in there at all, that,
Based on the, based on.
because if there's gonna be an incident, the safety requirements are gonna require the supervisor to get a hold of medical personnel or something like that.
I don't think you need that in there at all. I had a girl have a meltdown on the job, and you call an ambulance and she leaves in the ambulance. There's nothing for you to decide, because you can't force somebody to have an exam.
She'll
So
cross
take
out.
out 3 completely?
I would take it out completely just to keep from,
See, I was worrying about that
Okay.
because that's what I was thinking about.
yeah.
How can you judge somebody?
Because the police.
a
Yeah,
lot of
she,
this
she had a
comes from
meltdown, and we
The-
called an
yeah.
ambulance,
The
and
police
they took her to the
department is
hospital.
already, they already do
Yeah,
their own fit for
right,
duty,
yes.
so none of our employees at the
So
city park.
we are
should have to
deleting
have
number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Are we adding that testing may include but is not limited to, because not all of that is done every time.
Right.
Yes.
So
'cause
testing
there's
may
other ones.
include but is not
Not
limited
limited.
to 1 and 2.
Well, then you got four
Well,
and
then you
five.
gotta go to the next
Oh.
page.
All right.
Yeah, because see, here we go again, here's a psychological evaluation. So is that for all employees or is that like for the police department?
This is be given at any time it is required by federal or state law. I don't know when that would be.
I'd ditch 4 too, just because
But do we need it in there for the police department? That's the only thing.
Because they go through traumatic things.
Well, they do the psychological, they do the fitness, they do all of that.
Police department, I believe, do have to
And
take a
it's
psych
required by
eval.
federal or state law,
For-
that overrides us
Right,
anyway,
yeah.
so.
Well, yeah, but this is for all
Right,
personnel, so
right.
if we needed to have it in here just for that specification, we might just need to put for law enforcement.
Well, it says certain positions such as law enforcement, or including law enforcement. Or do we even need to?
Do we do?
Because it says given any
I'm
time
not
that is
sure.
required by federal or state. Wouldn't
Excuse
that-
me? She has a
Oh.
question.
No, I was just going to mention that the federal, the police department should really have their own policy separate, not something we're gonna give to all employees. We would have all of the other employees follow this, and we have to keep, because that's a, special department. They have a uniqueness to them, we can't include it with all of
Regular
the, yeah.
Employees.
So we really
they
need to
have them
actually
though, right?
separate those two.
They do have a
They
separate.
do have a.
Yeah,
I
they
think
have a
do
separate
have a
thing.
separate.
So,
So, are you saying any of this in here shouldn't be in there if it's related to the
Yeah.
police department?
Right, because what you're gonna cause is a lot of confusion, and then people are gonna be reading this, say, wait, that's a violation of my personal privacy. It's required for police department, but not us. It kind of goes along with that fit for duty. I mean,
Right.
we don't need someone fit to be a clerk and sit at a desk, but we do need a cop that's gonna chase down a bad guy.
Right.
right.
Yeah, so we actually just, we need to separate those and then, keep, you know, everybody else. I don't know if you have any other special departments that have unique requirements?
No, just the
With them?
police department.
Okay, yeah,
So then this one, we would only need 1 and 2, and then take out 3, 4, and 5. Because
Yeah, the background and the drug is for employment and post office. So the 3, 4, and 5 take out of this?
Yeah, because
Because it's in his,
number 5, it says also the physical and mental exam, which wouldn't be a
And that
regular
means
employee.
this probationary period, when you get down to the bottom, where it says police officers shall have the probationary period, that should not be included in here? Is that what you're saying?
well,
I think
because it
that
was an action of the Board of Aldermen, I think it should remain in there.
Yes, because it's just,
It's
This
just
is,
stating a probationary.
and this is part of the employment of the officers. Their procedures as what pertains to
law enforcement.
law enforcement would be what she's talking about, the separate thing that, Jamie had given us a copy of that earlier.
And the mayor and I talked about this sentence. Police officers shall have a probationary period of 180 days as established by the Board of Aldermen on July 11, 2023, and get benefits at 60 days. Because they get their benefits at 60 days, but they're on probation for 6 months to allow Jamie to properly evaluate their performance.
And get benefits after 60 days.
Yes, their benefits is exactly the same as everyone else.
Okay, so that would mean the very last line down here needs to have something like that added. If an employee successfully completes the probationary period, they may receive a pay increase after 90 days.
Well, we're getting to a question about that.
Upon the very first, it says each employee receiving an appointment. Should we say each employee hired or receiving an appointment or a promotion?
That's what we
Are
had.
receiving employment?
Hired or receiving an appointment. That's what we, I've got notes on that as well.
Hired or receiving?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Down where, next to the last sentence of that paragraph, during the probationary period, the new employee is not eligible for Terry and I suggest striking out fringe benefits and health insurance. And just reads, the new employee is not eligible for compensatory time, sick time or vacation, but will earn credit for those to be taken later. Because the fringe benefits and the health insurance and all of that are addressed somewhere else, and you don't get credit for the health insurance. So fringe benefits and health insurance need to be taken out of that sentence.
Yeah, because they don't kick in till after probationary, or
Well-
do they get them right off the bat?
No, that's one of our things that need to be established when we get over there, because the 90 days has been the probationary period, but everything except the dental kicks in at 60 days.
Right.
So,
And that's a Myrna thing, and I don't think we can change the 60-day rule.
we have asked what it would take, or if it is allowed for the dental to go back to 60 instead of 90, but we haven't got that answer yet.
Okay, where it says they're not eligible for the comp time, sick time, or vacation, but will earn credit for those to be taken later.
Yes.
So is that how we're doing it? If they do work overtime, then it's just saved and put on their record after they get their 90 days
It
in?
has, yeah, it has been that it's been accrued and be credited for taken later. But again, anybody that's on probation, should not be working overtime,
Right.
but the sick time and vacation, G-Works accumulates it. Correct, Terry?
The sick time and vacation, it kind of
Okay,
accrues
then-
it, but it doesn't drop till your 90 days.
Then why on the police department, if they get overtime in their probation, why are they getting paid out on it?
Because we didn't have policy on
And that's how they've been doing it.
Well, that's what I brought up back there. I mean, like I said, if you've got employees that were hired last week, and then all of a sudden, all hands on deck next week, even if you are a probationary employee, you're still gonna maybe have to work a 14-hour day,
Right.
so,
Well, that would be like water or sewer or streets or, something happened and,
right, that's what I was getting at, was this probationary period is, as far as the overtime, the comp time or whatever, I mean, if they gotta work it, they've gotta work it.
right.
I think we're just,
You think the whole sentence needs to come out of there then? And they,
well, I mean, the thing is if they have to work it, they have to work it.
And you have to pay them for it if they
Right.
work it.
well,
That's right, so it doesn't really, whether we like it or not.
earn credit
Because
for
there's gonna
those.
be rare incidences,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Right,
Well, you take it, if somebody's only got 30 days in, but if a water main breaks out here and they have to work, on a Wednesday night, if they had to work to midnight, they had to work it, and that's pay period.
right.
So just take
So
out
take
that
the
they're not
whole-
eligible for compensatory time, and,
Or just take out the whole sentence.
well, the sick and vacation, they do get credit for. They build up for those 90 days. My sick time's gonna drop next week. I'm excited.
But they said they're not
But you
eligible.
I don't have time to be sick.
So during the probationary period, the new employee is not eligible for sick time or vacation, but will earn credit for those to be taken later?
Right, in other words, what they're saying is if they've worked 90 days and they're gonna be hired on full-time, so that will count towards your year to get a week's vacation. Your first
Well,
year
yeah,
of
that's true,
employment.
because the way G-Works is set up, the yearly evaluation is on the date of hire, not
90 days.
the after 90 days.
Right, so, and I mean, the date of hire,
So
they,
then can it be left that is not eligible for comp time? It doesn't say accumulating comp time,
I mean,
or is it using comp time?
Ms.
I think
City
they should be
Administrator, what do
eligible
you think?
I think they should be eligible for comp time during probation.
well,
Because you
I'm-
really can't restrict them. They're doing the job.
As long as it's not unnecessary overtime, they're getting those hours no matter
rules on comp time are enforced, then that will probably take care of a lot of.
Right.
Well, I mean, you're gonna pay them for a holiday.
Right.
I mean, if you hired them June the 1st and July the 4th comes along, you're gonna pay them for July the 4th, they're still in a probationary period.
Okay, so during the probationary period, the new employee is not eligible for compensatory time, sick time, or vacation, but will earn credit for those to be taken later. Leave it at that?
And take out comp time, right?
Right,
No.
that's what I would,
You're gonna take out comp time?
Well, it says they're not eligible for it.
not
No,
eligible
Not
for it.
eligible to take it, but they are earning credit for it.
Yeah, not eligible for, they're not eligible to be sick, and they're not eligible to go on vacation, but they get that later.
They're earning it.
Okay,
and
but
it-
they're
it's
earning
They can't
available
take
Right,
At 90
comp
days.
time.
okay,
Okay, so just take out fringe benefits, comma, health insurance,
right,
correct?
right.
Okay. And then we're adding
So in other words,
establish
instead-
program and get benefits after 60 days, we're still leaving that in the police officers, just because of that.
so in other words, if the police worked overtime, we don't have to pay them out, they just earn that comp time is added on with their,
Yeah.
okay.
Once this is implemented.
Yes, yes. Okay, any other questions on 17?
At the bottom, one, do we need to put after 90 days, they receive a pay increase
Well-
after their 90-day probation ends?
That's something that needs to be
And
definitely
evaluated?
decided, because
It says they pay-
traditionally, some departments have been given
50-cent raise.
using 50-cent raise
After
Now-
90.
after the 90 days. Even the police do that, and their probationary period is 180 days. So
Well, then we have
that's
to
something that
remember
needs to
that.
be established.
We have to remember that when it comes to the pay scale of what you hire them in with.
And then 90 days, and then the
Then you
first
know
year.
that they're gonna be 50 cents higher, you know, in that 90 days, so you gotta, right, Trish?
Yeah.
It's on this chart, there's
It's-
a
yeah,
hire and 90 day and
Higher in
then
90,
1
she's
year.
got that in there. So do we make this, if the employee
Well, if one-
successfully completes the probationary period, they will receive a pay increase?
Well, if one department gets a 50-cent raise, then shouldn't all departments get 50-cent raise?
After, yeah.
I
If
mean,
we're starting, I mean, I'm not sure why an employee should be given a raise after 90 days. They hire in to work for X amount of dollars.
I have to
For
agree
the
with you
first
there
year.
too.
Okay, so why can't we just say that if an employee successfully completes, well, actually just take that out, and they shouldn't get an increase till they get their evaluation,
Their annual.
your annual evaluation, and that's when the raises should take effect, is after an evaluation, not just because they did 90 days or not because they did 6 months. They have to be evaluated to see if they did.
Although then you would not be giving raises, just across the board once a year.
Right.
So that,
Trish, what do you think?
I'm all about merit. I think if somebody works 1 year and they deserve a raise, we give them a raise. If they are really busting it and 50 cents is not adequate and they deserve $1, I'm all about merit. So across the board, I'm not a fan of at all, because that doesn't give anybody the incentive to even want to work harder or go above and beyond or get to the next level. Because
Well, different departments take different levels too.
yes, they do. And again, I'm gonna base it all on merit. I'm not a flat across the board kind of person.
Just give it to
And
them
I
just 'cause
like
they've
it
been
on
here.
their 1 year date. I don't think somebody who works 6 months and someone who's, worked 1 year both get a 50-cent raise at the same time, just to keep it.
okay.
Annually.
So
What did you say,
on
Gail?
page-
I was just saying, so, just because they completed it does not mean they get a raise.
all right.
Agreed.
So, but, okay.
Yeah.
let's look at it this way for right now. Scratch off that last line on page 17, talking about the probationary period. And when we get over to compensation, then it talks about given after completing the probationary period, and we can address that on that page. Okay, so anything else on 17? On page 18,
Yeah. It says right there at the top, new hires,
yeah,
the city administrator, and if you don't have a city administrator, then who else is there? So that would be the mayor.
with
The
that,
city
we have the
administrator.
city administrator, so the policy is going to be the city administrator though.
But the way on the new hires, it's saying the city administrator is responsible for the onboard of all new employees. Is that taking our ability away as aldermen to hire supervisors?
No, onboarding is getting them into the system. The new employee orientation and,
So in other words, after
That's
they're
what
hired,
onboarding
she gets
is.
in.
It's like what an HR person would do when we
Yeah,
just hire
okay.
someone in. They give them all the paperwork, documents, here's your benefits, fill out the paperwork.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
and then
So I'm
all
not
of
gonna
those
keep doing that,
files.
she's gonna start doing that.
Yeah, and all the files then are retained by the custodian of records. On the rehires, we want to make sure that, because this was under discussion, we wanted to make sure it's reading correctly regarding the former employees.
Okay, on the sentence that says, or did not work out resignation notice given or no call, no show, or eligible for rehire. Okay, on the workout resignation notice, sometimes there can be circumstances on why somebody didn't finish out their 2 weeks. Okay, say for instance that the other employee or their supervisor knew they was leaving, so they would bully them or picking on them or something like that, and they just said, forget it, I'm not coming
Well,
back.
they could take their comp time too during it.
Yeah, but,
So the definition of no call, no show would be they did not call in and say, I'm not
Right.
finishing out my 2 weeks. I
right,
can understand that, but I think we also need to put in there unless city administrator approved with extenuating circumstances, because that's where it would need to be justified. Like this person called you to say, I can't complete my 2 weeks' notice, so technically they weren't a no-call, no-show. But if this one here decided to put their 2 weeks' notice in and then just never called, never showed up, never nothing, to me, that would justify a no rehire. Because they had no, like, they didn't care. Like, there was no explanation
Or
to
did
them.
not work out resignation notice given unless approved by city admin. Or just a no call, no show.
I would say unless, a no call, no show are not eligible for rehire unless city administrator approved with extenuating circumstances.
Okay, after rehire would be unless approved
thank you, that's what I was trying to kind of get at. You
By
know, 'cause there
city
is circumstances.
administrator for extenuating circumstances.
Yes.
And that would be up to the city administrator to find out why and investigate and make the final decision on that. Would that also apply to any elected official? They're employees.
We can't work for a year.
Should we
No,
put
they
that
can't
in
be
there?
It's in.
Oh, it's in there somewhere.
Well, I know, but for like, for this, if for a rehire, so the disciplinary actions or current litigation or anything like like that, I would put it in there that they couldn't be
Well,
hired.
because
for a
even
year.
though we can't work for a year, what if we did something that we're not rehireable about? I mean,
We're not hired.
We're not hired anywhere, we're elected.
You're
Mayor
elected.
and-
You're not,
You're
you're
not
not
considered
hired.
employees, no.
We
Okay.
can be, we're elected,
yeah,
even if they impeach us, we still can't work for the city for a year.
okay.
Unless approved by city administrator for extenuating circumstances.
Okay.
Page 18.
Did we get that worded all right? Or did we?
Unless city administrator approved with extenuating circumstances.
And I wrote down unless approved by city administrator for extenuating circumstances. Is that, okay. All right, we're on 19. On that one, the top shows city administrator and mayor, and then the last one shows mayor. So shouldn't that be the same, I think, as well?
Yeah, secondary employment without the prior approval of the mayor or city administrator. Same as that first
The
one.
first line, so it should, the city administrator and the mayor. Same that's up in the first sentence needs to be the last sentence. Okay. We're to 20. 21.
20.
Oh.
Money
Compensation.
compensation.
Yes, that's the one. Okay.
On the hours, we'll start at 23.041.
Okay.
On the full-time hours, they've got it 30 to 40. I think that ought to be 35 to 40.
it just says off the IRS,
I put
Portable.
30 to 40 because IRS says 30 to 40 is standard range, so you can pick a number within there.
Right, and the IRS and the Affordable Care Act
defines 30
is
hours.
not the same as the federal labor laws either, so.
Yeah. You can put
So you
30,
can make it what it
32,
is.
35, whatever you determine to be full-time for this city. I was 24 hours full-time with Jeff. That way he could give me benefits. So it's up to the company.
If we do 36 hours, that'll save on benefits. Anything under that, we won't have to pay.
I was thinking 35 to 40, but 36,
that
I
makes
think.
sense.
36 to 40.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, we have someone that works 32 hours and has full benefits.
Is there no way she can get 4 more hours? And if not, then
I don't think
I
she
think it's gonna
wants
cost
to.
us more to run, you're talking about the senior,
Yeah.
then we're gonna have to pay her 4 more hours of wages to get her up to,
Well, we could grandfather her in. How long has she worked?
Long enough to even
yeah, quite a while.
Why don't we just put in a grandfather clause, you know, prior to approval of this
Right.
the amended manual.
Well, yeah, it would be, yeah.
So we'll just have to put a clause in there.
so 35 times.
36, I thought.
Oh, I'm calculating the part-time, sorry.
So we add a grandfather clause.
Times 35.
You can,
So on the part-time hours, if we bumped it up to 35, and for part-time, it would be 1820 hours per year worked for part-time.
It's under 1,500 hours. Isn't that what you found out? Part-time is
What
considered.
Myrna says.
Yeah, part-time is
They
considered
suggest
under
1,500.
1,500.
Is
So
it
that's
they
like-
suggest or
I wondered where you come
just
up with
suggest?
14.99.
Authority
Yeah,
to
but that's where,
our own
that's
Yeah,
an
I
hour,
don't think federally
28 or
there's any-
something hours.
Yeah.
said it's a suggest, so we
Yeah,
can
suggest.
appoint. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, we probably ought to make it hours per week, so that they're both of them are kind of the same.
Okay, so Murma states that it is, what now, what was y'all discussing?
$14.99 is what Myrna suggested in their sample book.
But we are allowed to,
Do what you want.
Yes, you're a separate municipality.
So with
so
35
we can
and
put
under,
whatever we want, just like the full-time.
35 hours and under would be part-time.
Okay, so 36 is full-time and under 35, except for people before this.
Grandfather clause, we gotta make a grandfather clause.
Starting date of as, whenever.
When this is passed.
Hired after this date, right?
So on the seasonal, how would we calculate the seasonal?
They can only work 40 hours a week. So they can get 2,080 hours, but they only work
Well, normally, how many months do they work? Do they work like 5 months?
1st of March to November.
So the March, April, May, June, July, August, so they work 9 months?
April, May, June, July, August.
So
5 months, so
5 months, that's,
the summer or winter months, so
which 5 months would be what, around 800 hours?
And
Did I calculate that right?
5 months, that's what I got also, was 5 months. But if we're not calculating hours, I guess we wouldn't have to change
We
that
wouldn't
one.
have to, just make sure.
And can we put employee classifications in, just to put a date in there, and it would eliminate the grandfather clause in. But really, this, when this is approved, this is when it goes into effect, so we really don't have to, oh, she's on,
Do what?
I'm just trying to think how to word the grandfather about the senior center director. And then, when she's no longer doing it, then that director or supervisor,
We'd
whatever
have to
she's
start
called,
with the new,
should, this 36 hours should apply to that.
Well,
So
how-
new
how would it
person.
be worded?
What we
So
could
we'd have to
do-
grandfather one specific employee.
Well, what we could do is that on the first page is we just put effective as of this date. All of these are, all of the amendments are policy as of this date. If we put a little blurb
Well,
in the front, where
because this has to be by ordinance. It has to be done by ordinance anyway. This is the code book, chapter 23, but it's still an ordinance. So that will
But if it
be
comes
the
of
date,
that,
but that's still,
are we gonna get hammered with that too? Because if it's a fact on certain day, then all the employees that's already hired, do they still go back to, well, I could work 8 hours comp time every day and blah, blah, blah?
Right, would they be able to go back to the old handbook?
If we had the grandfather clause, everybody think they should be eligible for it too.
Because we need them to
aren't
follow.
we
the
just
new-
grandfathering the one person,
Um,
or the one position?
That's a good point. So we would have to make it specific, a grandfather clause
We're talking about the
specific to
36
that
hours.
hours, and that's it.
Well, on that full time, then why couldn't we say, except for the senior center that works
Director, 32 hours.
Senior center director, yeah.
I don't know if you can legally do that because at that point you are now talking about a specific position.
Yeah, you're zeroing somebody out.
Yeah.
Didn't mention their name.
Doesn't matter, you're still talking about a specific position though.
So we'll just
And
have
we need to take that IRS affordable, that line, we need to take that out. But if we're making that 36 hours.
Okay, is she the only one
Yeah, I
that
put that
has
in for
worked that
reference, so I'll
long there?
scratch that out.
Could we say except for certain department? And that wouldn't be singling one out.
Well, why can't we put except approved by city administrator / mayor or board of aldermen? That way,
Well,
if that
it has
person
something
would
to
be.
do with the G-Works and payroll definition, because that's where those three,
Yeah, we just need to know that that one
Full-time,
person's not
part-time,
gonna
or
have
seasonal.
that many hours every week and it's okay, and they still get benefits.
So an employee hired for an indefinite period in position for which the normal work schedule is 36 to 40 hours per week, unless authorized by city admin or mayor to be confirmed as a full-time employee.
Well, we can't really do that. If we're going to say it's 36 hours is full-time, everybody has to be treated equal. So what we have to actually put in there
32.
then, I think, is we'll just have to say,
some of the eligibility
For now.
on, like the health insurance and that, the life insurance, doesn't that have 32 hours?
30 hours.
30 hours, that's why you do that. So we may be better off leaving this at 32, and then we won't have any problem. Because everybody else works 40 hours, except that one person. So leaving that at 32 to 40,
so then from here on out, if you hire someone who says, well, I only want to work 32 hours,
then they wouldn't
they're
get hired.
full-time,
Yeah,
and they get benefits.
it's a catch-22 thing.
It is.
But if we make
If
that
your job
position,
description-
it has to be 40 hours.
The
then
job
they can't.
posting is 40 hours, then
But when you leave and you guys are no longer aldermen, we're still
So they
sitting
can
with
change it.
32 hours as full-time.
That's right.
So we really need to cover that. So we need to think of a statement that will not directly reference any position, person, or department, or anything, but just say, because we already know it's only just one person.
Right.
So we can say, effective, like in here, effective, whatever, January 1st, moving forward, so that she's still covered. We'll just have to think of the right wording.
but
To make
will it be on this number one under employee classifications?
Yeah, we should probably put it right there, so there's no misunderstanding, what we're doing. And that's where we could put in the effective date for that particular change that we're making. And I think we do need to always put a clause at the beginning of the manual whenever you make amendments to say that the old manual is, basically no employee, and these are now policy.
Right.
But again, we have to remember that it has to be done by an ordinance and codified into chapter 23 of our city code book. That is a process that we've got to remember that
So
part.
just under this full-time, line number
mean,
one,
There could be somewhere, and maybe in the old one, that there's a statement that
23 is the city code.
this supersedes.
So when they replace it, it's
Okay. Do we still have that?
Which one are you on?
On page 3 of the old, see page 6?
page 6,
Yeah,
Of the old one?
yeah, it says, this is a revision of chapter 23 Personnel Policy Manual. All references made to chapter 23 by the city code book will be now referred to this manual. This manual will no longer be known as chapter 23 and shall be identified as the Personnel Policy Manual. But in our city code book, we have the chapter 23, which is this.
I think in the code book on my shelf, it says see personnel manual
Or something
and
like
date and,
Right.
Okay,
So-
what
so I
about
think we
this?
can get by with it if on number one of full-time employment, if we say these hours is effective as of date, whatever date we pass this.
Yep.
Okay, the 36 to 40 hours, that's considered a full-time employee.
Right.
But the one that's currently working 32 hours is considered a full-time employee. So we've got to do something about that person.
Okay,
That's
right
what I
here it
said.
defines it as, in human resources and employment context, a grandfathered employee is an existing, we can use existing employee who is allowed to retain certain benefits, conditions, or privileges that are no longer offered in the newly hired employee's handbook.
Text that to Terry, please.
Would that make sense?
Well,
Yeah.
something like that.
So, yeah,
That
something like,
makes
and it says,
perfect
then this
sense.
happens when an organization introduces new policies, rules, or benefit structures, but chooses to honor the previous terms for its current workforce or employee. This practice is sometimes referred to as applying a grandfather clause to employment terms and policy. Grandfathering employees involves protecting existing benefits such as vacation allowance or health insurance plan and honors previous agreements that can improve employee morale and retention. It can also help smoothing transition when implementing changes.
Okay, that's good. Can you screenshot
I
it or
sure
something
can.
and send it to her?
Don't
I
lose
sure
it.
Send
can.
it to my email or my text message, whichever you have
It won't
handy.
have to be that detailed or that long,
But it
you
gives
got
us
the
kind of
idea.
an idea of it.
Okay, then,
But
let's
we're
do
gonna
it
leave
this
it
way.
36 then. We're gonna change that to 36
Right.
slash 40.
And then, 1, 2, 3, and then put 4, put that about grandfathering in the employees. Could we do it that way?
The grandfather clause, or should it be just up under the full-time people?
Since
Was it-
it pertains to the full-time,
I
I'm
put it up
big
there.
on making it as clear as possible, so there's no confusion. And for any layman to read it
So
and
just
say,
add it on
So
number
number
1.
So, yeah, so we might just put a bullet point or a star, and just to reference that.
Okay.
Now, down on the compensation.
Is that to your phone? I was just trying to find the words, and I thought, well, let's Google it.
A pay increase will not be granted for any employees whose pay is at or above the maximum pay grade.
Where, oh, that's the bottom of the,
Yes, the first
Compensation.
paragraph.
Okay, so that means after they hit their maximum, when they get a evaluation, they will no longer be entitled to a raise?
Know that, and right now we got people that's overpaid, so they're not gonna be getting a raise until they get up there, or we can cut their pay, one of the two.
If you start cutting pay, you're gonna have people walking out.
that's why we
We
gotta
wanna
revamp
retain-
what we were
Yeah,
starting.
right.
Yeah,
That's
we
gotta
wanna
be a second.
retain knowledge, experience, good quality people, and if they are, we need to keep a raise.
Right.
Because we wanna keep them.
So how would we go about that if they hit their maximum? How would you do that? Because if they got an evaluation, they would, if they got a good one, they would expect.
My understanding with that pay scale is you don't have to stick to it specifically, but it's something that you,
Use as a
it's a
guideline.
guideline. So, I mean, even
Well,
if they're.
it's something that has to be adopted by, should be by ordinance.
Right, but if, like, if you're capped out though, and you're here for another 10 years, you can expect not to get
Right,
a raise.
so
So I think
we
that,
really need that taken out of there then? That sentence?
I would. You know, if we're gonna do, if you're going to also do it based on merit, that's what they need to focus on.
Well, and assigned to each position indicates the value of the position within the city, and I think that looking at it from the department standpoint that we, so we will be bringing a, another pay scale review.
So are we eliminating that, the pay increase will
Increases
not
are
be
not
granted?
guaranteed, but may be given after completing the probationary period. This is where we need to address that,
Yes.
okay? On page 20, that last paragraph, under compensation, the pay increases are not guaranteed but may be given after completing the probationary period. We need to decide now if we're going to automatically give everybody a raise after 90 days. And I, for one, if you're hired in at $16 an hour for your first year, that's what you're gonna be for your first year until your
Well, I
evaluation.
kinda agree with that, and then when you get your evaluation, depending on what your evaluation is where your raise, first raise should kick in.
Well, I agree with her, and I agree with what Trish says about merit. How did you work for a year? Will be your
And that will
pay
be
grade.
So that means we need to get rid of the probationary period altogether then. Because if you're not gonna do an evaluation after 90 days, why have a probationary period?
Well,
Which
you
I'm
can
good
get an
just-
evaluation whether they're gonna become a full-time
Or they're
permanent
not.
employee, but that doesn't mean that you have to give them a raise.
Right, which I'm not saying I agree with the not doing a raise after 90 days, because it makes it more complicated, but are we doing the evaluations after 90 days?
I think we
No,
do need
the
to do it,
evaluation.
I think we do need to do something, but they should not get their first raise to their first anniversary.
I think
But on
at
their 90 days, they should be evaluated, because if they're doing
Well,
poorly
the
on
su-
their 90 days, we're not gonna wanna hire them.
But the super, in the back of here is that form for ending the probationary. When it's,
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that probation, I think, is good, because the supervisor
Here it
can come in and say, hey, he has really worked
super
well.
and requesting that be
or
released
he
from
is a
probation
drag,
effective.
So we just don't need to get rid of
But
it.
it doesn't say anything about any pay raise, right?
No, there's nothing about pay raise.
So that's just an evaluation to state whether we wanna keep them as employees or we
Right.
wanna
Or
get
it
rid
needs
of
to
them.
stay on probation for another, whatever.
Well, if they have to stay on probation more than
Yeah,
once, we don't need them.
Right, but, you know, that's between the supervisor and the employee. The annual evaluation would be on merit and then a pay raise.
Right.
So I would say just take out that first line, the pay increases are
Is
not.
that what we're looking for, is just, on our budget to go on a pay scale? And then we're not gonna give all these raises at the beginning of the year?
Well, I think probably this, because there's gonna have to be some adjustments somewhere.
No, I said that, is that what we're shooting for, is just you get a pay raise at your anniversary date? Instead of everybody get their pay raise at the first of the year, is that one thing we're shooting for here?
Can we do it though?
Well,
Well, that's how it's always been done,
Well,
first
that's-
day of the
yeah,
year, everybody
that's-
got hammered
yeah.
with a raise.
but anybody that hasn't had a year's service wouldn't get it. Anybody with less than a year's service would not get one. I
Well,
guess
could
the way-
that kind of be implicated in their budget for their department?
Oh, you can still figure it in the
Oh, yeah,
budget
that's
for
what
a
I'm
year.
saying.
We
And
just
then when
need
they're
to
at-
determine, you
And then when
know,
their anniversary date rolls around, it's already in their budget, so.
right,
But it's implemented on their hire date.
right, so, but then annual evaluation for current employees then,
We just have to go back and get all their original hire date. If they were hired in February, then there's,
Well, but it's not gonna be across the board raise, it's gonna be done on merit, like
right,
it should
on
be
merit
done.
and per department, because different departments have different levels.
And then it says right here in annual evaluations will be evaluated annually on the date of hire anniversary date.
I have a
so
list
let's
of all their
implement.
anniversary dates, so that's easy to get.
So then, we don't even look to give everybody a raise January of '26. It'll be on everybody's anniversary date.
Because it
It's
will be
supposed to-
implicated
That's
in
what
the
it should
budget
be.
already.
Yeah, it'll just be effective January
right.
1st. This
Pardon?
is what we're doing, effective January 1st, this is what we're doing, so.
We just have to
It's like a fresh
anticipate
year.
that.
Right.
Right, and we're doing
And
it
by
this way.
department,
Well-
evaluating each department will,
Yeah, we'll
Give us that
anticipate those
information.
raises.
The only ones that are gonna get raises will be the ones who are below minimum wage when minimum wage goes up. They're all gonna get raises January 1st.
No matter what.
So y'all need to kind of think about everybody else, when you raise everybody else up to 15, and you're coming really close, that person's been here a while.
Okay, that last sentence says pay increases are not guaranteed but given. Then the next one, what are we gonna do with the, when they get certified, like CDL license? And they've always got a 50-cent raise with their
Increases are
CDL
not
license.
guaranteed, but may be given upon, I think that could be just left in there like it is.
I
So
would
it's
say
not a
so.
guaranteed
But it will be
CDL raise.
on the pay scale that's adopted.
I would take out not guaranteed, because if they're completing those things, then why would they not receive?
Just pay increases may be given,
Well,
or will be given.
Isn't it, don't they have like a certain amount of days to get their CDL? Or they can't work for us, right?
Well,
If
it's
we're
always been
requiring-
within that 90 days.
Okay, yeah, if we're requiring them to get that CDL within 90 days, and if they want to continue to work for us, for whatever dollar amount we agree to pay them, they need to get it. Otherwise, they just won't be working for us. So we don't necessarily have to give them a raise, because it's kind of mandatory that they get the
Right,
CDL,
so-
right? When,
But
if
on-
that
Being
job-
hired at $16 and get your CDL and then you get $16.50. Well, now you're getting hired at $16 and you get your CDL within 90 days, or you don't work any longer.
Oh,
Sounds
CDL
pretty
is also just one certificate type.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
there's
There's other
water
diplomas.
certificates that somebody can take the classes for. There's lineman certificates that they can take classes for, that they may not need for the job, but
Oh, like the water department has to have water license, don't Johnny and them have to have certain types of,
Oh, they gotta have a lot of certified
that's
things
what I'm
done.
saying, so see, it would have to vary between departments and what certifications are required for each one's department.
yeah.
Because without those certifications,
Well, it says
can't do it. They
employees'
can't work.
professional certifications, including the commercial driver's license, will be considered when placing the employee on the pay scale. Now, see, so somebody with a CDL will be placed higher than somebody without a CDL.
Right.
And I would end it right there.
If the stipulation of them getting the CDL is part of them getting the job, then I can
Right,
see not
yeah.
giving them a raise.
yeah, because,
But if it's a secondary accomplishment that benefits us, then I can't see why we wouldn't give them a raise.
Sitting here till spiders.
so it's,
Well, in this, okay,
Because
just
we
pay
pay for the
increases may
CDL.
be given upon completion of a professional certification or CDL.
Yeah, that's fine.
okay, but somebody that is already hired in that has a CDL, but it's not required for their department, so how would we?
If they're not.
It says when placing on the pay, will be
Pay scale.
considered when placing on the pay scale. Just because they got the CDL
Right.
and don't use it for the benefit of the city, they shouldn't be compensated for it.
Right, that's what I was getting at, they shouldn't be compensated for it if they already have it, because,
So if pay
It's not required.
increases may be given upon completion of a professional certification or CDL,
I just take that out.
just completely out.
Yeah, since you guys are paying for them to get their CDL, for the training, for the certificate, for all of that, I mean, there's no sense in us giving them a raise when we're covering all the costs on it.
Right.
oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay, so there's only one sentence then in that paragraph. Employees' professional certifications, including Missouri commercial driver's license, will be considered when placing the employee on the pay scale.
Right, and it doesn't mention anything about raises or anything, so that,
Okay?
So what if,
So we are no longer giving an increase after 90 days probation. There is the evaluation that the supervisor's going to do to get them off probation, but that's going to be it.
right, it tells them whether or not they stay employed or they let them go.
Okay.
And then
So
there's
this
1
pay
year,
scale?
then they get,
Do y'all want me to get rid of that hiring thing, or just get,
Now, there's no 90 days
yeah,
on the pay
so
scale.
do I
don't need a
ditch this
probationary.
first column? Or do we start them there and make number one the probationary? Make the
No.
first year the probationary?
you start them on number one?
Data hire, and then year one.
Okay, so
And
take
that's
the
the way it is.
probationary, take the lower column off,
So
so
are
they don't
we,
start at the lower,
on that last thing, are we taking off?
starting with the higher.
The bottom sentence.
Okay.
The first sentence and the last sentence of that last paragraph under compensation. It'll only read employees with professional certifications, blah, 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 employee on the pay scale.
You're gonna do all that paperwork.
Okay, on the next one where it says new hire salary, is this what you're talking about, Trish? About the newly hired employees will be set at a minimum range, but possible additional for their additional work experience? Is that something that specialized skills relevant to the, to the position? Is that something that,
You know, I don't think we actually need to specify, be so specific that way. I mean, this is, they're not gonna know the pay scale for everybody except for that particular job. So, based on experience, skill, all of that, they're going to come in and say, you know, apply for the position. We have that pay range, and we'll decide what we're gonna start you at after evaluating their resume and everything they offer.
so how do we
So-
need to put that? Do we need to put, pay will be determined on hiring or pay scale, or do we just get rid of that
We could just
altogether?
say the city has a pay grade scale.
It says
Which we
salary, I don't
use.
think we have a salaried employee. I don't understand what that new hire, it says new hire salary. We do,
Oh, yeah, it's,
it
it
says
should
salary,
be
we
pay
don't have
rate,
a
we don't
salary.
want that word salary, no.
No, that is,
So, yeah.
Change it to pay or compensation.
Well, do we even need the new, because this is, will be set at the minimum pay range, but
Pay grade.
So we could just say, we could just say something as a blanket statement, just stating that based on your specialized skills, you know, your salary or pay grade will be based on your experience, specialized skills, knowledge. I mean, we don't even really need to.
pay for
Put
newly
anything in
hired
that.
employees
So we don't
Be
need to
determined
will be
by-
based on,
I'm sorry.
okay.
based
that will
on or
work.
determined by?
Do we even need that whole thing in there at all?
Well, I'm just wondering if we should just scratch all of it, because we've got a pay scale and we're gonna go by that anyways.
I would just get rid of it. We don't need to open up any doors or any questions. I think
Because when you interview them and you look at the resume,
Mhm.
you're gonna kind of,
right, we're gonna look at our scale. and
So
say,
delete
where should we
23.043?
Okay.
Delete it all?
It's gone.
And one thing we have to remember is, these are, the people who are going to get this manual are already hired
Right.
at their pay, at everything. So they're just going to wanna know, what are the rules? What do, you know, what,
Right.
is the dress code? Basically, all of that. What are the disciplinary actions?
The stuff that's gonna affect them.
Right. And the more simpler and direct and less wording we use in this manual, they'll get it. And we want them to get it and sign off on it, so we can avoid any future mishaps.
So then we probably don't need 24 either. And if we leave it in there, that first sentence has a typo in it, it's an employee from one position to a higher job classification.
Do we
Instead of
really
on.
even need that in there?
for the promotion, it
Mhm.
should be based on their evaluation yearly.
Because they,
Well,
they-
I think
Unless
we-
they trade, like, one goes from streets to sanitation and it's a higher pay, then they would be entitled to it. But it would only be during a change of,
That's what this whole
Department
paragraph's
to a
talking
higher-
about.
And
yeah.
it's,
So how do you guys do promotions? Do you, say you have a new job posted, and we have somebody that could clearly take that supervisor position, do you offer it internally first before you go outside?
I think we should.
Because
I would
that can
hope we would
also,
try to.
that can help determine, promotion, where we can say, we believe in promoting from within.
Right. Because it does, I found, gets a morale up that you know you can move up the ladder. If another job comes open, that you can move up, and it does help morale.
We definitely want to encourage that. I don't know what the Missouri laws are regarding having to be able to open it up to all, because do they consider that discrimination? I'm not familiar with any of that.
No, I think they can open it up to internal
Most of
employees
this came
First,
from.
and
first,
From
and
Arma,
then
I'm
they
sure
can,
that-
then if they don't have somebody qualified
Here it
enough, then they
said-
can.
Okay.
Promotions from within the city workforce shall be accomplished through process open to internal and external applicants.
I think Missouri requires you to still post it, but
Because, yeah, it is,
Uh,
it would have to. be
internally, you can still do the interview process with someone from, say, street department for a supervisor position, but you'll also wanna look at external just in case.
Yeah, I think maybe it stays in with that correction from one position to a higher. Unless we want to get more specific, but process to internal and external applicants.
Well,
And because they have to be posted
okay,
publicly.
okay. And so that means in the last 2 years, we have broken this manual ourselves. Three
Well, I
or
don't
four,
think
no,
what
wait a
this
minute,
said.
3 or 4 times. It doesn't say anything there about that, but inside the city, we never posted it for outside the city. And I'm not, okay?
What do you
And-
mean
and
posted
we
for
just need to
outside
think
the
about
city?
this. Judy's shaking her head, because we just did it about, and so I'm not mentioning anything, but about a year ago, we did the exact same thing for somebody else that we know of too. We never posted the job outside the city.
Well, if you're talking about somebody promoted into supervisor,
That's exactly what I'm talking about, and we did not post it outside the city.
you're right. we
And I
didn't-
can think of 2 instances in the last
Yeah,
year.
promotion of, but it says somewhere.
It's internal.
I mean, wait a minute, I'm just opening up a ball of wax here that we just, we have to look at ourselves here.
Well, but this policy is going to be enforced, so.
But there's already a policy in the old book that that's the way it was supposed to be done.
That's exactly right.
From, yeah, deserve.
I'm not saying that,
That's on the record.
we did what we thought was best for the
Doing a
city,
good job.
Right.
and that's what we're supposed to do. But in all actuality,
And then
It was supposed to be posted.
exactly,
Posted for 2 weeks, and
Exactly.
then do the hiring.
Laborer.
But at the same time, as Board of Aldermen, you should have also known Code 23 for
It says,
the
all
internal and
vacancies
external, so-
occurring in service of city shall, whenever possible, be filled by promotion of a qualified employee within the city's service. However, may recruit out for better qualified. Promotion shall be based on qualifications. If no acceptable applicant is found within the city, the vacancy will be filled from outside the city services. The criteria used for selection shall be based upon experience, evaluation, and where feasible, examination. I would like to see that wording in the new one, really.
Yeah.
It
page
says,
is
however,
that
the
on?
mayor may authorize the recruitment of applicants from outside the city service. That needs to be changed to city admin, I
What page
think.
are you on the old one?
5,
No, that.
The original old one or
the original old one,
Original?
the 1018 version. 1130, page 5.
I don't have my old one with me, now, this was the one that was approved, right?
This is from October of 2018.
Okay,
Oh, so we did do it okay.
Yes, we
Yeah.
We
did.
did do it
We
So
okay.
did.
it was within the,
Yes, we did.
Within the
Correct.
city
Well, let's just
service.
put
But
that
that
in
needs to
there.
be, yeah, from page 5, 1.130 needs to be the 23044.
I'm not trying to be biased, but, you know, if we have good workers that deserve a promotion, I think
Just
they
like
should have a
this.
shot before anybody else.
So we need
And
to
that's
put
we promoted the guy who was in.
1.130 over to the 23.044.
Correct.
I'm getting a new clerk.
Okay.
Yeah, that reads a lot better.
Okay, so we need to put
Or
the
we can
1130
promote within the city
over here.
first.
We forgot
Yeah.
to discuss the new clerk we're hiring. He
Not-
closed.
Not Not tonight, we're getting through this, guys, we're getting through this. Okay, any questions about the transfers? And the employees will be evaluated annually on date of hire,
So we did,
So on that,
anniversary date.
on the annual evaluations for supervisors, I think that the city admin and either the mayor or city admin and the board of aldermen should evaluate the supervisors. And then supervisors and then either the mayor or city admin evaluate the employees. That way there's no bias, there can be no bias over it. You always have two people looking at the evaluation of that person.
Okay, so supervisors,
Oh, you're on the annual
Employ-
evaluation, that
employ-
last one?
employees will be evaluated by supervisor and city administrator
on date of hire, anniversary
annually on
date.
date of hire anniversary date. Supervisors shall be evaluated by city admin and the board of aldermen.
Okay, she's already got that written out.
Always be supervisors.
Can you send that to Terry then? By
I got it.
supervisor and admin, then the supervisors will be by the admin and the mayor?
Either the admin and the mayor or the board of aldermen and the admin, either one. Just as long as,
Supervisors shall be evaluated by the city administrator and approved by the board of aldermen.
Okay, just take the mayor, well, I'm part of the board of aldermen, so I guess that wouldn't. Okay, employees by the supervisor and admin, and the supervisors by the admin approved by the board of aldermen. You approve, it better be the admin,
do admin and mayor, and then we can go over the evaluation.
Yeah, the mayor can say with the city, because they need to have at least two people in for it.
Yeah, so you and the city admin.
You can add you
supervisor.
on,
admin
on
and
the
mayor.
supervisor, yeah, and then we approve
The
whether or not.
supervisor, yeah, evaluation.
Well, you'd have to approve the, okay. Approved, just approved by
Board.
By the
board of aldermen?
Mhm.
Okay. Employees will be evaluated by supervisor and city administrator annually on date of hire anniversary date.
Right.
Supervisors will be evaluated annually by the city administrator and mayor on date of hire anniversary date, all approved by board of aldermen. That work? 21?
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Mine's highlighted all over the place.
20, on 22, I found out that, okay, we put in what sanitation works, because it's different from the 8 to 4:30. In wastewater, I found out, since 2008, they've worked from 6 to 2:30. And they, one or the other, clocks 2 hours on Saturday and Sunday for their daily reports.
They've done that for years.
So is there
Yes.
any problem with that, or can we just?
Well,
keep
they
it?
had not been getting any comp for that 2 hours was my understanding, and now they're getting that 4 hours when they're on call. But that's the hours that's the straight time hours that they work, or that's their work week.
So they get their 4 hours and then comp time, and then they still come in for 2 hours.
And then Saturday, come in
On
2
Saturday.
hours on Saturday and
Right.
Sunday.
One comes, one or the other, I mean, but it's 2 hours on Saturday and 2 hours on Sunday.
And they pretty well keep their comp time down too.
Mhm, Monday through Friday.
Sanitation,
What was their hours?
8 to 4:30.
It would be Monday through Friday, then 8 to 12 on Saturday, and it creates 4 comps per week, 4 hours comp per week, because, you know, got the recycle center open on Saturday. And then they work holidays if needed to empty the dumpsters, which,
Businesses.
that's periodic, that's not every holiday.
And during what, the cleanup weeks or something too? They do?
Well, that would be out of the 8 to 4:30, the cleanup weeks.
Has anybody confronted you with this hot weather? If they could come in early?
Nobody asked,
Me and
A
her
lot
was
of
just
them were
talking about
probably
that a little
doing it.
while ago.
but nobody came in and asked.
You talk about sanitation mainly?
No, any of them, like the
I'm
Parks
talking about
Department.
streets, I'm talking about parks, I'm talking about sanitation. And
No,
Well,
I was
sanitation,
told that
I talked-
everybody and this was just yesterday, that everybody in this heat was just here in case something happened, so they,
I talked sanitation. Problem is, they come in at 6 o'clock and wanted to start running around, people would
the
not.
routes, yeah, that wouldn't work for sanitation.
And so
because
that
of
they
the
would,
routes.
they would end up working the whole day anyway to try to pick everything back up again that they lost. I was with you, it's like we need to, some kind of policy that says,
I mean, it's gonna be 90, 95, they can come in
Yeah.
early and get,
well, but it needs to be a city
That's-
policy that your trash needs
Right.
to be put out by
A certain
such,
time.
yeah.
Oh,
right, so they could pick it up and not have to go back and retract.
Right, and so that they could come in early and leave early
Well,
and not,
all right, that can't be in the employee
Okay.
manual, so
That's something. we
that
need
will
to-
have to take
Okay.
up.
Can I ask you why library is in with the pool, the golf course, the airport, the senior center? Because I know they've got different hours, but why does the library just get to set their own schedule?
I believe that was copied from the previous one.
Well, they would have, why wouldn't they have any different hours than City Hall? Be open from 9 to 5 or
Well, they're
something
open
like
on
that.
Saturday though, for one thing.
Okay, well, they could do 9 to 5, Monday through Friday with the supervisor to get her 40 hours, and then the part-time can come in on Saturday, and 2 part-times be with her during the week.
And that's another whole department evaluation thing that needs to be done.
So they would probably eliminate some of them.
But that's gonna take some time to, I would ask that we leave this in here for right now, because hopefully with the city admin evaluation, then
We're gonna
that
adjust
can be
it.
set, it can be adjusted.
Trish, get that straight, will you?
Got it.
Fix
I'm on it.
So we also talked about the
City Hall.
city clerk staying a little
Yeah.
late.
Which I get the hour lunch, that it's too much time, but is there no way that we can adjust that schedule where they're open till 5?
Okay, Terry, I know we may have to separate these two.
I know, right?
We're talking about the hour versus half-hour lunch.
The city hall.
We're talking about firing old librarians, no.
Is there no way that we can adjust the schedule where we are open until 5 without having to do the hour lunch? Say we have 2 people come in later, or
We have,
there's gotta be
The
a way.
ladies are open to the idea of some of them coming in later and some of them earlier. They're not real thrilled about it, and we don't have a lot of people. They would like me to ask you to let them do it for a couple of months and see if they actually have anybody coming in between 4 and 5. Because right now, they don't have anybody coming in after 4.
And maybe just like the week of the electric bill due.
Yeah.
They had suggested that, but the mayor and I didn't know if that would be more confusing for the citizens. Because they'll think, oh, you're gonna be open till 6. Well, it's not due date, so no, we're not.
If you start making special arrangements, it's going to cause problems. If they know that it's open, you know, it's 8 to 4:30, and it's always been that way, they do accommodate and know when to get in. But when you start saying, oh, we're going to be open to 6, once you start opening that up, you're opening it up to a lot. Well, then why aren't you open, you know, at 6? Because in the morning when I can drop it off. Yeah, I mean, it's going to,
It
will
used to be open
cause
till 5,
problems.
Mhm.
and then they give up an hour lunch, and they didn't like the hour lunch, so it went back to 4:30.
Oh,
The ladies would prefer to some of them come in early and some of them come in later. They said that schedule, they would rather do that than have their hour lunch.
What
that's
you're
not bad.
looking-
That's only a half hour early and a half hour.
Yeah, but
or,
what
you know,
you're
Yeah.
looking at
one.
is
One would stay late and one would,
So that's not bad.
the front desk, that's what they're talking about.
Yes,
So you're talking 1 and 2 employees, that's it.
right.
Your employees everywhere else is going to be the same time. So you're just talking about 2
And
employees.
this says shall normally work, so it can be worked out internally, it doesn't have to be in here, correct?
and we can, since we're gonna hire another clerk, we'll have 2 clerks up front. One of them can come in at 8, one can come in at 8:30 instead of 5.
So are
That'd be
you,
easy.
you're changing the time till 5 then?
That's what they're
Just-
wanting to do.
just
No,
for
I'm
the
just
city hall?
asking because people
Or-
complain that, and, you know, 3 years ago, it was open till 5.
Yeah.
And then the clerks all decided they only wanted a 30-minute lunch, and they closed at 4:30 then. So, it don't make me no difference, but I have had people tell me, well, I get off work at 4:30, I can't get,
It's inconvenient for the ones that don't work at the city.
We can make it work and be open from
And
8
if
to
it
5.
doesn't, like, if you don't see enough foot traffic start showing up after a couple months, then it doesn't have to be so, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be one of those, they might not know, they might not come in. If people start realizing you're open until 5 again, then maybe it might make a difference. If it doesn't, then it doesn't.
So do probably what posted on
Okay,
Facebook or
so-
something.
On this, page 22, the first sentence, the Public Works Parks 8:30, or 8 to 4:30 with half-hour lunch stays. Sanitation stays, except we don't need to create 4 hours conflict on there, just Saturday 8 to 12. Now, do we continue to let wastewater work those hours? I can't see
Yeah.
them doing that in the wintertime, but maybe they do.
When
But why should they work different than the others is my question.
does Public Works and Parks and Shop and Maintenance actually show up at 8?
As far as I know, yes,
Have you seen their
Pardon?
clock-in times?
yes, yes.
Yeah, and they are showing up
I
at 8.
haven't looked at them myself, so.
Can
I just figured they'd be coming in early, you
Can
know.
we look to make sure that they're coming in at 8? So we can justify that 8 to 4:30, and then if they're not, then.
You want me to check it right now or just get back to you with it?
Okay, you said they're starting their workday at 6 o'clock.
That's what Johnny, or the
Wastewater.
supervisor told me.
Okay, is there a reason for such?
Been doing it since 2008.
Because
Yeah, I didn't,
That's all-
that's not what I
that's
asked.
all I
What
was
I asked,
told.
is there a reason? Do they have to come in and read something at that time in the morning, so they just said,
Not that I
okay?
know of, but
But
that wasn't the reason he gave me for it. The reason he gave it
I know one
was
thing
since
about it,
2008.
is that they start pumping that sludge early, and they take it to the fields.
Again, this is something that each department needs to be evaluated, so this could,
Well, they pump
This
that
will need
sludge
to
in
be
that truck.
adjusted later,
It's about
probably.
15 degrees hotter in that truck than it is outside, so that's why they come in and get, taking that sludge out of there and putting it on the fields.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't
mean,
either.
the plant is running. If it's not broken, why fix it? Why fix it?
Well, can we kind of Well, like during the inclement weather times and it's hot, instead of them coming in at 8, can't they choose to come in a little bit earlier to try
Well,
to
if
beat
we
the heat?
live this as shall normally work, then
Yeah, because my
Shall
my
in
thing
each
is-
department.
Right, can,
And each department, again, needs to be evaluated, and maybe this needs to be adjusted
That would
at a
be,
later date.
yeah, because I mean, like the public works, the electric guys were coming in early. The electric department was
They were
coming in
working
early.
when they were doing the tens, yes.
Right,
They're
so
not
like,
doing that now.
have they adjusted that schedule back to normal
As
hours?
far as I know,
Or
but-
are they still coming in early and leaving
So
early?
we need Terry to confirm with payroll what they are actually doing now.
Yeah, put a note, check their clock times.
Okay, and that'll be for all departments, really. Okay, then City Hall shall normally work Monday through Friday unless you're changing it to 5 for City Hall. But then it would only be the 2 utility clerks that would,
I mean, what else?
That
that
one
would
you
work
you
till
could
5?
probably leave it at that, because it says
are we
shall
gonna throw it all
normally.
on?
Shall
the
normally
utility
work.
clerks?
Okay,
So if we try it and it doesn't work, then
Okay.
we can go back to.
so
We're gonna
really,
have to advertise it out on Facebook, to see, because if people don't know we're open, they won't come.
right, it'll take some time. So we need to confirm with the payroll, but leave it, we're gonna leave everything in here and just add about the wastewater?
Sure. I
Really?
mean, if it's not broken, why fix it?
Okay,
Let 'em
the
go.
wastewater needs to be defined there then, okay. All right, anything else on that?
The time recording, each individual is responsible for their own clock in, clock out at lunch, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. They all
Let's
have
clock
access
out
to a
before
computer.
going to lunch is in there.
Okay, so, with this, it says the supervisor has to approve, time cards. There's something else about the supervisor approving if they were late or this, that, and the other thing. Is that being looked over as well?
Yes, the payroll clerk is doing a really good job of
Okay.
finally developing this. I believe that it's working well.
Okay.
Yeah, in the
Because-
system, there's a place where the supervisor has to
Check.
check off, and they haven't been, but we've been insisting that they do,
They-
and
Okay.
they are doing it.
And notating anything that, like
Yeah,
they
they
left
have.
early or something for the day?
On 23, are we gonna go to 60 hours instead of 80 hours? We did
We're
discuss
talking
that.
about page 23 now?
I'm sorry, 23, comp time. I'm tired, guys.
Yeah, yeah, get this.
City
Okay.
employee may accrue up to a maximum, are we gonna leave that at 80 or are we gonna bring that down to 60 like we talked about?
Well, I think like Calvin explained to it, even if we dropped it to 60, they're still gonna get extra hours. It's not gonna matter either way if it's 60 or 80.
And it's really hard to get it down to 80, so, for some, so
Let
getting
alone
it down to
try to-
60 is gonna be almost impossible.
Well-
But again, this is something that can be looked at again after each department gets evaluated. I'm really,
To me, with this clause in here that they've gotta use it within 30 days, do you know how hard that is for the clerk to say, well, okay, on this day, he got 4 hours, so he's got till this date to do 4
Yeah.
hours?
but really, if everything was working like it should, they wouldn't be accruing comp time.
I know.
Micromanaging all that.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, I mean, it's been intentional overtime to build up comp time.
That's true.
So,
And that's what we're trying to get
Trying to-
this, so we can fix that, right?
Okay. So I'm leaving it at 8.
I guess I got beat out.
Well,
and we've got to confirm that last after 7, you know, compensatory time is promoted, paid out.
Mm.
All
I,
time earned.
And that's a Murma thing.
And I remember just because if you promote them, then you're giving them more money for their hour,
Unless this results
they'll
in
pay it out before you
vacation
promote
leave
them.
being forfeited. Are you talking
No,
number
the,
7?
the one after seven.
Oh,
The
If
sentence
an
after
employee's
seven.
accrued comp time is promoted, all accrued comp time will be paid out. So you don't get paid out on the higher
When you
money.
promote them,
Although
they're making
that-
$2 an hour
The rules
more
for fourth
than the
class
comp
cities
comes
says you go
$2
back
more. So
to
yeah,
the
it's
highest
paying
rate in
out
the past 3 years, so
80.
there's a
They're not so happy, got some-
discrepancy there.
Almost 300.
yeah, I mean, I think it needs to be left in there.
Okay.
On the next page, the second sentence,
Where we at, 24?
Yeah,
yes, I think we
Because-
need, oh, go ahead.
my thinking was the city clerk and the city administrator is part of the job, so it would be straight hours, and then they will take the time off.
Through the week.
Either, yeah, take their time off, probably the same month, not the same week,
Okay.
because it would be difficult for the city clerk especially to take off the same week of a council meeting because of the paperwork that has to be done, but I would say within the same month. But then supervisors that are required to be here, then they would have to get the time and a half.
I don't think they need to. I think that should be part of their duties to show up, to represent their departments and stuff for the agendas that pertain to their stuff. And why can't we do something to where we can get them in first? Is there any way, like during the meeting, instead of waiting for them to sit back there for 6 hours, for them to come up? Why can't we do a department head thing first, then do our old business, and then do new business,
Because if we're gonna pay them, we need to get them out quickly.
very quick?
Okay, so then leave it as part of the job and it'd be straight time then?
For supervisors.
Yeah, when,
Because it's
I was
not
gonna say
that,
when requested, and I guess we could leave it as when requested.
because
But like
normally,
you're saying, if there's something pertaining to their department, they need to be there.
Right.
Is
right, that's
basically
part of their
what you're
job. Just like it's part of your
And
job,
when they
anything
move
that
up to the
pertains.
supervisor, just let them know. Occasionally, like it.
It's not like they're at every meeting. It's not like they're,
Let me think what I'm trying to say, budget time and all that, you will be required.
Okay, let's see how this reads then. Compensatory time for attending city council meetings.
I'm not sure if you can do straight time on that because it's required, so it will make city clerk work over 40 hours a week, so can
And
you
we
do
talk
it
about
in straight time?
supervisors on,
Well, it would apply for all three of them.
Yeah,
then,
supervisors
since
too,
they're
I think you
part of
have
the
to do
job.
time and a half, unless, if I could take off like the day before a city council meeting or 2 days before, so it'd be in that same pay period, then I wouldn't be working 40 hours.
well, we wouldn't have to worry about, the only time they have to worry about it if it got over 80-hour comp time. That's when you gotta take it off, after 80 hours.
Yeah, but I
But
don't
there
know if
would
you
be
can
time
give
and
them
a half
straight
then.
time comp time, or if you have to give them time.
Straight
And a
time.
half, because they're over 40 hours.
Okay, how about compensation for attending city council meetings for city clerk, city administrator, and supervisors when required or requested will be, I lost my wording, time off.
will be compensated with time off,
Yeah,
something like that is what you,
attendance at city council meetings by the city clerk, city administrator,
Every
and
council meeting.
supervisors when requested.
Every
They'll
council
be
meeting I've ever
compensated.
been to in 20 years has required that the city clerk as well as the city administrator was here no matter what.
Right,
And it
that's
didn't
part of
matter.
their job.
But I have been here when they had 15-minute meetings too. So you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and pay them, and I think they're right, that when it comes to old business, you do the supervisors. I realize that what we're doing is old business and then new business, but the thing is there's
Yeah,
no
we can
We
reason.
Department heads
we can
first.
go department head business.
Yes, we can do.
Right, you can do department head business first, and then you go into the old business, and then you go into the new business.
And that prevents them from
And-
sitting out here
Starting in
and
September.
working the clock, and not only that, more than, most of the
Well-
time, they might have 10 minutes to say something, they're out of here.
But now, most of the times that I attended meetings with the city administrator was present, when it came to old business or new business, the city administrator already had it set up as to, in other words, well, what do you think, what is this, bing, 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 bing. And it was settled very shortly, very quickly, well, what is your recommendation, what is your recommendation?
Not to mention like purchasing of equipment and such was usually brought up by a city administrator instead of the supervisor.
Right.
Right.
And so, you know, your time, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet and say the clerk and the,
Well, the formulation of the agenda is not part of this, so it's the compensatory, I mean, we'll definitely
I
try the
understand,
department
but we're
earlier,
gonna have
but-
to pay them no matter
But what
what.
is what is gonna be the compensation for the city clerk, the city administrator, and supervisors when requested?
Regardless, it's
So it's gonna be,
Comp time.
okay,
The state labor law says time and a half.
time and a
Okay,
half.
so-
Time and a half.
But if you
Mandatory
over-
meetings.
so we don't
Over
need this,
40 in the week.
we don't need this in there then?
Yeah.
Would it just be the same as,
But instead of paying the supervisor to sit back there for hours, time and a half, get them up here first, get them out of here within maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes tops. And then you might have to pay them for 30 minutes, or you might have to pay them for a full hour. But it's a lot better than 5 or 6 hours, because they have sat back there for hours at a time because they were at the bottom of the agenda.
okay, so we'll just take that out and
We're taking it out?
I would think, take that out, yes, and we'll put the department heads first on the agenda, and the city clerk and the city administrator will
We'll
just
just
time and a
stuck there.
half. Okay,
And the supervisors will get what, comp time or
Yeah, comp
time
time.
and a half?
they'll get time and a half,
Yeah,
Which
they
is-
still get,
which
but,
is-
but we're gonna make it less time that they have
yeah,
to be
they won't be
here.
getting 6 hours work, they'll be getting 30 minutes to an hour tops.
Okay,
Well, I mean, you could even put those in with the departmental reports.
Yeah?
comp time.
I have a question on comp time before we go on. Page 23, full-time golf course supervisor. You all passed, well, you didn't, but past council passed 240-hour cap on his comp time. Now we have another full-time person at the golf course, besides just the supervisor. Do you want all full-time at the golf course to have that 240-hour cap, or do you want that other full-time person to be limited?
That's
You have a
6
cap
months,
Just like the
though.
supervisor.
That's 6 months.
240, 80 would be 2 weeks.
I mean, 6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yeah,
Six
That's
months,
like
40-hour cap.
2
because
months.
Yeah.
The way seasonal, I know how golf courses work. That guy's gonna work his tail off all summer,
Okay,
and then it's gonna
So-
snow.
full-time golf course employees then.
Yeah, it should
Okay.
not say supervisor, it should just say
Employee.
full-time golf course employees.
Okay, thank you for,
500 eyes looking at this. looking at this. Okay, 24 should be okay then, taking that line out. Now, 25, we want to confirm with you regarding this on-call.
4
We're just
hours
knocking
comp.
that down from 8 hours to 4.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. 25. Okay, going on to 26. 27.
Well, okay, wait a minute. Right here, it's stated right here, when an employee attends meetings held at the department, by the department regarding work-related issues, regular scheduled hours or not, the time would be considered paid work hours. So would that keep them from the time and a half, or would that be regular if they attend our meetings too? A meeting, because,
Well, paid work hours, but if it's over 40 hours,
Hours,
then
then
they're
it's
gonna
time
get
and a
comp
half.
time. Yeah.
And that's for like safety meetings and stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Is that what that
Yes,
means?
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, anything on 26? 27, we need to add a jacket to the jean, or to the flame resistant. We had the word outerwear down there, but,
This jacket.
yeah, flame resistant. How did you read that note? I just wrote jackets. 2 to 3 years as needed. I was told that, every 2 to 3 years as needed,
Yeah,
the jacket.
they will also receive one pair of flame-resistant rubber boots every 2 years and one flame-resistant jacket every 2 to 3 years as needed.
On electric department.
Yes.
Jacket.
Can I ask the question why, let me get to it. Why does the library get 5 shirts a year and the city hall girls only get 2?
Okay, let's go to page, you through, are we through 27?
No,
No,
it's
it's,
both.
city hall employees, it's the first
Number
one.
28.
Oh,
Where?
we'll receive 2 shirts yearly.
Oh,
The
yeah.
library gets 5.
So change them to 2.
And the
Yeah.
part-timers get 2.
Yeah, 2 should be enough, because
Yeah.
I don't know about the other girls, but
The
I'm wearing
part-time
it every
should
day
get
anyway.
1 then, and the full-time get 2, just like City Hall.
Okay. And the library.
So 2 and part-time 1.
And they're gonna
City
get
Hall
2?
2, library full-time, which will be 1, 2, and part-time libraries 1.
I
Senior
just didn't think it
citizens.
was fair that the library was getting 5 and,
That was a typo.
and another thing, everybody gets boots
Yes, they,
and jeans, but the golf course don't get them.
So their clothing shouldn't
Yeah, but all
go
the all the outdoor
With weed
employees
eating
get jeans
and-
and boots.
And then boots and weed eating up and down them
Okay.
ditches.
Okay.
I mean,
We've got shirts,
they only get,
jeans, boots, oh, it's a no instead, okay? Do they get the $125 also?
I would
But
say,
it would be the full-time ones, right?
yes, only the full-time.
Because they're giving the shirts for everybody, but, so boots and to the full-time ones,
Yes, on golf.
jeans and boots, okay.
Because, I mean, I've seen them and they're covered with grass stain all over them.
Full-time jeans and boots, because we already got shirts in
Right.
there, okay.
in which
And where'd you-
department?
Golf,
Golf.
Now, what did you want, what was,
Full-time jeans.
okay. And we have a kind of an estimated
Boots
cost.
for the golf course, everybody's getting $125 allowance for jeans and work boots. I asked her, why didn't the golf course, they bring them weed eaters and mowers and,
oh, okay. That's, what I thought you
An
said boots.
estimated cost is around $8,000 for this. This is not a definite or anything, it's just looking up what things cost. And I think we've got most of it.
what is it, did you
It's
say?
about $8,000,
For clothing?
yes,
For all employees,
yes.
and that's a year.
Well, not everything is done annually, so it wouldn't be a year, no. Because the boots are some of them each 2 years.
Right.
There's jackets every 2 or 3 years, so,
Oh, the,
but that's a ballpark figure.
the electric department right here, assume that would come under just stuff that they need. But, every so often they have to have their gloves tested. I would think they might have to do that. flame
That goes
resistant.
under their small
Right, but what about the
equipment
boots?
stuff.
Cotton shirts, flame resistant jeans and work boots,
Yes,
that's yearly.
yeah, the outer jackets, is my understanding, is what's,
Yeah, but I don't
Every
see
2 or 3
those guys there, they don't have 5 and flame retardant jeans and work boots. How many they're gonna get 5 100% cotton shirts and 5 flame-resistant jeans, is that the way I read that?
That's what-
And 5 pairs of work boots yearly?
No,
Well, we need to say,
one.
and 1 work boot yearly.
One pair
Well-
of flame-resistant rubber boots every 2 years.
I think
right,
that was-
that $125 is for
I
jeans
don't
and
see any
boots.
$125 there for the
The
electric
electric,
department.
the electric department does recycling or something to earn money to pay for their own, so we don't pay a lot of it
On the electric?
on the electric.
Yeah,
That's why
but
there's not
again,
a
I was
dollar
trying to
amount.
explain that anything that they sell recycle, that's just gonna go back into, the fund, and it can't be just because our system can't just designate it for their clothing,
So is there,
but they have been doing.
is there a difference between just the regular work boots and the flame resistant, or,
Well,
Yeah,
these flame resistant are rubber boots.
okay.
yeah, they're the ones that.
There's a, but
That's,
there's a difference.
that's
why they
beside
have-
the
Them
$125.
Fire department.
See, the the 5 shirts and the $125 is that anywhere, that should be the $125 allowance.
For the
But the
jeans.
flame resistant jeans are gonna cost more, so
You bet they are.
we're gonna have to rework this electric,
Okay.
because there's supposed to be a itemized list that
Okay.
didn't lock it down, so we have to redo that on the electric. We'll
Have to put a
pinpoint.
number of jeans or a,
Well, to find out. I don't know if they're, well, they probably didn't adhere to the $125, I don't know.
I was gonna say, what about the fire department, because the fire department
Well-
only has T-shirts.
Right, because their equipment, fighting equipment comes out of a different budget
Okay.
line,
This is just,
safety
Right.
or something like that.
Not to mention some of that stuff they can get with grants.
Yeah,
They get grants with them.
some of that, yes.
Basically, the only thing they get to take home is their shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the other equipment stays with the,
With the fire department.
The, like the coveralls and the rubber boots and the hat.
They just wear their t-shirt off. That's all
Yeah,
they wear.
okay. We will pinpoint that electric a little bit better than that.
right.
Okay,
That's
on
kind of-
28,
We're on 28 or 29?
we're on 28, down at the bottom, that city pool and municipal golf course, it shows in here that the employees' immediate family members can use the swimming pool at half price, and golf course not including cart rental at a discounted rate. But we need a percentage for that ordinance, like we've got a 15% military discount, and we've got a 10% out of town, or whatever it's called, for the 25 miles. So instead of saying at a discounted rate, we need to know what that,
Well, the
Discounted rate
discount,
would be-
okay, that's gonna be hard to explain, because the way they do it, like if I,
you're talking about the membership, right? About the
right,
family or the single person.
Right.
Well, this is just using it during regular business hours. This doesn't apply to
purchasing a membership.
the purchasing of
okay.
membership.
So I would, on the golf course, I'd say then if they're gonna go out there, then 10% discount,
Is that
if they're
enough?
gonna just golf for one day.
You would do 50% like you do the pool,
Okay,
Half price.
half price.
okay, not
Yeah.
including cart rent.
Well, they'd have to rent the car.
Yeah, but you don't,
Yeah, they have to rent the car, but just at half price instead of discounted rate should work, correct?
okay, but if it's at a half price, which is okay, how many times a year are they gonna play golf at half price? And is that gonna equal what it costs for
No.
a a family,
That's
if
for,
they get a
Well, that's-
membership?
that's just for an individual to play one day. And then there's also the membership rate that's discounted.
membership's only $130 if,
For a
The golf
senior
course?
couple.
well, for Rick and I, we figured it out. Yeah, for seniors, he could get a membership for $130
On the golf course?
on the golf course, but
Okay, so
if
around
we
the
weren't
golf is
old-
how much? $8?
$20.
Huh?
$20.
So $10?
For 18 holes is
For
20. so
18
that's
holes
10.
and $10, it'd be 50%
So
discount.
you can go
And if
play
they decide-
18 times, or 13 times, and not have to buy a membership.
Right,
But they still have to pay for a cart rental.
Mhm.
Right.
well,
But they have to do,
membership has
they
to
have
pay
to
for
do
it.
that there
Regardless.
anyway.
Yeah. So that's what I was getting at, is I don't wanna make it less.
It is gonna be less. if we
That's,
go half.
you know, but I realize they're probably not gonna, but there'll be somebody abuse it, I'll guarantee you, eventually. But I just don't wanna make it less to,
To keep them from buying a membership?
right, or something such as that. I mean, encourage, you know,
Purchasing the membership.
right.
Okay, what if we limit them per month?
Well, yeah, but what if we just made it 25%? Instead of 50% half price, just make it 25%. And by the time it's all said and done, you're probably gonna be awful close to a membership if they decide to do that, or, you know, very often do that at the golf course. $1.50 at the swimming pool, but $3, 25% would be $2.25.
You're losing more money at the golf course for them to go play there
Right,
than you are at the pool.
right, but I was just thinking instead of 50%, 25%.
Most people that like to golf are gonna buy a membership. The only reason you wouldn't is like Rick's thinking about trying it, so he might do it once and say, forget that.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I also understand this, that I wouldn't have to buy a membership if I worked for the city and I could get a 50% discount.
You get in free.
Yeah, you get him free.
We're talking
If
about
your
family
husband or
members.
wife.
Yes.
Well, I
Yeah,
know
but,
we
okay,
do,
well,
but I buy a membership. I don't have to, but I do.
Okay, but
okay.
employees, immediate
I
family
want
members
50%
living in the
off
same
next year.
household may use the swimming pool and golf course. That won't work. At half price, not including cart rental. And then, I mean, I'm just using less words, so we have less sentences, but, or else leave it like it is, pool at half price and golf course, not including cart rental, at 50% discounted rate or 25% discounted
You
rate.
could do both of them at 25% discount for
Yeah,
family.
yeah, that's
Instead
what
of
I
half
was
price
saying.
for the pool, where it's $2 and they get it for $1, do a 25% discount for all family members on both of them.
Right. That way, you would encourage, by,
Okay,
I
employees,
mean,
immediate family members living in the same household may use the
Our
swimming
rates
pool
and our golf
and
course,
golf
that's what they're
course,
talking about.
not including
Oh,
cart rental,
That's-
at a
that's trying to figure out what
25%
we can-
discount rate.
right,
Yes.
that would encourage, you know, buying membership, I think.
But,
Not necessarily.
but you need to put on there that, that is for daily use. Because somebody's gonna take that 25% and go out there and say, hey, I get a membership for my wife for 25% off.
Yeah, just put daily use, just, yeah, you're right, Judy,
Yeah,
to specify
you're
it. At a 25%,
City pool and municipal golf course daily use,
Uh-huh,
will that work as part of the heading?
yes.
and that will break that down. where they
Full-time
can do that.
employees may use the swimming pool and golf course, not including cart rental, at no charge during regular business hours. Employees, immediate family members living in the same household may use the swimming pool and golf course, not including cart rental, at a 25% discounted rate, or for a 25%.
And then
Is it at or
put
for?
a real short sentence under that. Family members can get discounted rates on memberships. That way we've got it covered, that that's a daily and just discount rates on memberships.
That needs to be part of the ordinance, though, not
Yeah,
the
but this
employee
is,
handbook.
But you
well,
know,
this is
Judy,
telling the employee handbook that,
it would cost me more to get Rick a membership, his own membership at 25% off than it would to use to get him the family membership.
it would cost more than what?
If I just went out there and said, I wanna get Rick a $400 membership, that's gonna cost me $300 to get him a membership at 25% off. But if I go out and use mine and get a couple one, it's only $130. So I don't think you're gonna have people doing that with memberships, cause it's gonna be more expensive.
And it's,
But daily use, if you don't want a membership, at daily use is 25% off.
It's pretty good.
Right, so that way, if he wants to play golf, well, okay, I'm gonna pay for a month, and now it's like, well, that's not really my deal. You don't have the money out for a membership.
If you're looking at that, at your age, you're paying $400.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then what is a senior couple?
530, so it'll be
it's gonna cost you
$130 to get him a
$130
membership
for
that
Rick to
way.
get a membership.
Yeah.
What's it gonna cost if he goes out there and plays?
It's 25%
On the
off.
weekends, it'll be $15 instead of 20.
Right.
And like you said, he might, you know, yeah.
Okay.
All right, there's nothing in the ordinance on the golf course fees about the employees.
We put it down there at the bottom of it. Somewhere, yeah, it was on there because we went over it. It was
We
right
added
under
the-
all the price things. Oh,
Now, it may be on whatever he posts on the door, but that's not the ordinance.
okay. Well, we need to change that ordinance then.
I thought we had discussed it. Somewhere.
Yeah, we did. I thought we changed it.
This ordinance was passed in March of 2025. Y'all want to see it? Read and pass it down.
Because this talked about the family and the couple and the seniors and juniors.
Okay. We're gonna get all this done tonight.
Yep, we're gonna go, Okay, so it's a 25% and for employees. Okay.
now we did all agree on the vacation, right? That you have to be here a year to get 1 week, 3 years for 2 weeks.
No, 5. That's what it says.
No, for any supervisor.
Supervisors, 3
Right.
years, 5 years for regular.
Right, for any full-time employee that's been in the city for 1 year, it's 1 week. Any supervisor that has been here 3 years shall be entitled to 2 weeks. Any full-time employee for 5 years get 2 weeks. Any full-time employee with 10 years is entitled to 3 weeks. And any full-time with 15 years shall be entitled to 4 weeks. Each employee shall inform their supervisor 2 weeks in advance of their, I guess, for the requesting of their time off.
I have a question regarding, that supervisor, because we
That'd be-
have 2, no, that hasn't been a supervisor for
Right,
3
they
years.
should have to have 3 years of being a supervisor.
Well, this is employed by the city, so somebody that's promoted into there will get their 2 weeks. But we had one recently hired that was given, told you will have 2 weeks, because that's what the previous one says. Department head employed continues for 1 year shall have 2 weeks. So,
For which one? The number 2?
yeah, the department heads that we have now, the supervisors, are entitled to 2 weeks. Okay,
Because we changed it.
2 says 3 years now. This, it says employed for 1 year shall get, supervisors get 2 weeks after 1 year, currently.
Well, that needs to be removed and they should go by this with 3 years. entitled to 2
Somebody
weeks.
that's already hired though.
Yes, I was gonna say, somebody,
Well, it's gotta be grandfathered in, just like anything else, right?
well, most of the supervisors have been there now, probably
They've
past
been
their
employed
3 years.
3 years. They have been employed except the one.
So they're gonna get 3 years, they got their 3 years in.
Now, the one new supervisor's not.
Yeah, so they'll have, I mean,
That's a tough one, because now we're cutting from them,
well,
so.
but it'll only apply to one.
Yeah, but that's gonna cause hard feelings with that
Yeah,
one.
I
How long has he
think,
been employed for the city?
Right.
I still think it ought to be
Hired as
3
a
years as
supervisor.
a supervisor.
Oh, you mean that, never mind.
Yes. And the police vacation
I was thinking of
needs to be. Because it is different.
Okay, then maybe we should reword that on the supervisors. Any supervisor that has basically been promoted to a supervisor for 3 years consecutive,
Has to be a supervisor 3 years.
for 3 years consecutive in order to be entitled to the 2 weeks. But any full-time employee,
With 1 week and then 2 weeks after 5 years.
right,
But in the old manual, any employee got 2 weeks after 3 years, not 5.
I know.
So you're cutting there too.
Oh, and if you say that supervisor has to be a supervisor for 3 years,
yeah, we're
then
in
we're
trouble.
knocking a whole lot of people out. So the only real question is the one supervisor that had never worked for the city before being hired as a supervisor and was entitled to the 2 weeks.
You told me
Been
he was
employed for a
entitled to
year,
2 weeks.
yeah.
Well, that was part of you guys before, when he was hired. Because, and it's in here,
Oh, it's on
Yeah,
that
yes.
policy.
department head employed by the city continuously for 1 year shall be entitled to 2 weeks.
Yeah, but he's not here. He hasn't been here for a year.
So he won't get his 2 weeks until he's been here a year.
Yeah, but
But according to this, he has to be employed continuously for 3 years to get 2 weeks.
Well,
It's not
I'm
wrong.
sorry, that's just the way it went. So he'd have to be a supervisor for 3 years.
Has
to
he
get
already
his
got
two-
his vacation time on his pay
No.
For the year.
for the year?
No,
So he has no vacation time on there at all?
no.
So it shouldn't really affect anything because he doesn't actually have his vacation time, because he's still on his probationary period.
That's right. There's our little clause, the probationary, because
It's gonna affect another supervisor.
You're exactly right.
Libraries got him a new supervisor a year ago.
No, we got a new supervisor in streets,
But he's been employed.
For
3 years.
Why it has to be 3 years as a supervisor, minimum.
No, I just think they ought to be employed by the city for 3 years. And if we make them a supervisor, then they just,
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, come on, guys, we're so close.
We're
so
not,
close.
though, we still got like, we still
Do
have.
you have a lot of questions?
You know,
18
pages.
pages.
I think my mind shut down.
Oh, my
It's
gosh.
just a forgotten feeling, you know?
all right, yeah, we need to think that one over. Miss City Administrator. God, that's nice to say that, ain't it?
Okay,
know.
so,
Here's a potential thought. If you hire them on as a supervisor, give them a 1 week, but then they can't get that second week until after 3 years.
That's a good idea.
Because
good
that would be
idea.
a way of keeping them as a supervisor by giving them something that
But
normally
the way
they
it
wouldn't
is
get at
now,
one.
That's what Judy was saying, the way it is now, every employee after 3 years gets 2 weeks. You can't take something away that you've already given them. If they're a 4-year employee, they're getting 2 weeks vacation.
I'm talking specifically about supervisors though.
But you can't, you don't have to be a supervisor, you just have to be employed 3 years.
thought we changed that to 5 years.
20.
Yeah, we did change it to 5 years,
The ones that
but
already
what
have more vacation than what they're
Yeah,
gonna get on this new one.
keep digging it worse. All these others is just really about drug testing. We don't have nothing in that, do we?
There's a few things towards the end. I make a motion.
Okay,
okay.
We're half done, that's a good start, I mean,
Can we have another meeting on this to finish this up?
yeah, 'cause that will finish it up. And we will be done.
It's 10 o'clock, guys, it's time to.
We need to think about this though with the vacation, because that is gonna be,
We need to look into that.
okay. Carrie, do you have a calendar?
Calendar? What do we want?
One more workshop,
Oh, Lordy.
but give us enough time to, when do you leave?
Next, Wednesday night, Thursday morning.
Maybe one Monday night?
I could do Monday, Tuesday. I know Calvin's busy Tuesdays.
Yeah, 4th
What
or
about-
5th.
Monday.
Tuesday, I've got to go to Springfield, so Tuesday will be better. I mean, I might be back, but I'm not.
They want to schedule
Because we
another
really need
workshop.
to get through this so that it can get finalized for the 19th. We've got to move forward.
Trish
So-
already have it done.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
done everything by the 19th.
so what are we shooting for this is yours, Terry, ain't it?
The 4th, you keep it? All right, keep
The
it.
fourth,
Which is Monday. So we would have to we'd have to put it out tomorrow.
The notice.
Well, Friday, yeah, tomorrow's Thursday, isn't it? Yeah.
Can we do it that Friday?
Well, with special meetings, you only need a 24-hour notice.
For just work
But
session.
this is a work session, so.
Can we do it the next Friday?
I'm not here.
Oh, you're gonna be gone on the 8th?
Yes, I'm leaving,
You
the
gotta
night,
do it
I don't know if I
the
find
night
that
of the
so
6th
strong.
through until the next week.
Because she's gonna leave out Wednesday, we don't want to be up here to midnight on Tuesday.
I know what to do.
So-
Well, what about the following week, the week before our actual monthly
No,
meeting?
she won't be
I
here.
won't be home until,
Don't push it over there.
yeah.
And the 15th is when the packet is. I think you won't be here till like the 12th or 13th or something like that.
Yes, we should be home the night of Tuesday.
But we want it done. so we
Yeah,
don't have to
because
draw
it's
it
gonna
up.
take some time to get it. After we have one more with everyone and then for her to get it done.
You can have
Is
it.
the
I got
18th
mine
when
on
our
my computer.
meeting is for August?
I need to know.
I always need you to just send me that.
So is Monday night not good? Because we can post it Friday for Monday.
Yeah, as long as we have enough time that we can legally
Yeah.
post it, I mean.
Yeah,
Friday the 4th.
I just got a hair appointment, I can cancel that for another day, that ain't no
No.
big deal.
This,
No, that ain't-
tomorrow, day after tomorrow, Friday, the 1st.
The first,
You can post
Yeah,
it
we can
tomorrow.
post it tomorrow, day after tomorrow to have the
For
meeting on
Monday.
the 4th.
for Monday the
Okay.
4th. Okay, so
I can do
Monday,
that. And
Ah.
just another work session like this,
At 5:30.
at 5:30.
There, yeah.
And I'm not leaving my keys in my desk.
And hopefully the new matrix maybe can be discussed also.
The new one.
Department, the
Pay
new pay
matrix.
matrix that we want to look at
Oh,
by department.
yeah, Trish had that done by
Hopefully
Monday.
we can get both of those.
I'm
Gone
not liking
through
this
at
position
least-
anymore.
We
tough,
can
you're
get
stuck.
through those and,
There will be no packet then next Monday night because we
No.
already have the packet.
no, this is it, yes.
Yeah, because this is just another work session.
We're
Yeah, I'll
just
just,
gonna finish
I'll send
this.
you the, I'll
and
email you or
then-
something to, I'll send you a text or something reminding you,
Oh,
notifying you.
Okay.
all right.
I
Because
gotta
then-
notify
Thank
you.
you.
Don't
I
get
think
lost.
after,
It's always
after
much
Monday,
appreciated,
then
because
the
I'm
three of us
busy
can finalize and
3
bring
times
it
a
back
day
to
when I'm
the
at my mom's
19th
house.
meeting.
Sure, we're
Sure
gonna
we
Monday.
can.
Huh?
Sure we
Other
can.
things.
Yes, we can.
And then we'll finally be done
I
or
make
think
a
about
motion,
it.
gotta have that motion.
Adjourn this meeting?
Judy
Are we
makes a
gonna have
motion.
Miss Rachel to bring us cake for that?
Yeah, right? Monday.
Well, I assume 5:30 on Monday before.
Yeah, 5:30, would that work for everybody? Fine with me.
Judy made a
I
motion.
can't think of anything right offhand, but
I made a motion.
to adjourn.
A second.
We need to turn these off.
Do I need a roll call, Mayor, or are you gonna do all in favor?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, meeting is adjourned.